Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 100th meeting between Clayton Clippers and the Pitman Panthers. First up, we would like to honor all former Clayton and Pitman alumni. Leading the alumni prior to 1970 is Clayton athletic trainer Sarah Campbell and her children Emma and Josh. Ms. Campbell is a Cloud Pitman alumni and now our own Clayton Clipper.
A little bit more, a little bit in, a little bit in. Yeah, good.
Charlie? Wow, look at those eyes. I bet you everybody says that to you, huh? Are you the one that rides the motorcycles? Oh, it's broken? Okay. Does he ride too? He rides. Right. I've seen those like reels where you start with the balance bikes and keep moving. He's on an electric balance bike. Wow.
He has been for over a year.
Yeah. Really? There you go. I know. I have a grandson about his age. How old is he? 4. Yeah. August 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch you. Yeah, I got you.
Next onto the field, we have all former coaches from both Clayton and Pitman to the center of the field. Okay.
No, I'm not.
No, actually not really.
They didn't tell him what to do. They like pointed at me and said, "Yo." I'm like,
I'm going in there right next to you.
Is that like drifting it too much? On the camera, or is that messing up?
I think the camera's just wonky. Like, it's not, it's never gonna, like, if you were staying, like, if you...
Let's give another round of applause for all former alumni and coaches who have joined us today on the field.
Pass me my phone right there. Center.
Why did you just tell us go? It's very bad game.
So you said
No,
Rob
matter
Williams,
that's that's what I heard. So my freshman basketball coach is like a teacher at Clayton, and he said he had like some insight or something. So that's what I heard. I mean, can't quote me.
"You want to talk to me?"
Yeah, the camera kept.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, entering the field are the 2025 Pitman Panthers.
because Robert, he plays basketball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything up there, because remember they usually play from the.
And now at this time, let's hear it for your 2025 Clayton Clippers.
Now, all head coaches and captains, please report to center field for today's coin toss.
From the grounds of Haupt Field at Clayton High School, it's Thanksgiving Day, the 34th and final game of the DWB football season. It's the Pitman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers in a matchup that is historic for more reasons than one. It's historic because these teams' alumni are meeting on the field. We have an amazing game ahead. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Thomas Gaffney. Because of the timing of events, we will be keeping things short. But, Thomas, this is a matchup between two teams that, out of the 7 South Jersey Thanksgiving Day matchups that remain, this may be the most evenly matched of all of them.
It has to be 100 years in history, and you're coming into the last game of the season, last game that you're broadcasting here on DW Broadcasting, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great day. Thanksgiving morning. How about this? The you saw that performance.
Oh my goodness!
What a performance!
We got a young Jimi Hendrix out on the guitar.
It was awesome. It set the tone for today, and I honestly think this is going to be a great matchup tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Thanksgiving love around. We saw Haddon Township and Audubon last night in the Curly Cup, and obviously that's a historic matchup being from my alma mater, but this is a historic matchup for all of South Jersey. This matchup was first played all the way back in 1923 when Pitman won 13-12. And in the first couple of years, there were a lot of low-scoring games. There was even a forfeit back in 1940. But Pitman has won the last 2. The last time we were here back in 2023, Pitman won 29-13, and when we were going to be here for the 100th anniversary, of course, last year with a bit of a mud bowl, 7-0, Pitman won in a rainy Thanksgiving morning. But, again, I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Thomas Gaffney Jr. on the call. Ben Wilden is producing. Damian Waiters on the camera. We are going to take a quick break. Actually, we might not even have time to take a quick break because we're going to go right into things here. Clayton and Pitman, they got to get everybody off the field and back into their seats for the opening kickoff of the 100th annual Thanksgiving game here at Haupt Field. It is a breezy Thursday morning. It's cold. It was 62 degrees yesterday. What happened? I don't know, but it's going to be a fun one for all of us here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. But we're going to get ready to kick off. Pitman on the right side of your screen, they are in the road white jerseys, and Clayton in a jersey combination I have not seen before. Their home yellow jerseys. They've been wearing navy blue as far as I can remember, but they come into this Thanksgiving game with some new threads to debut. And maybe these are old threads that I hadn't seen before, but I'll tell you this. Doesn't matter what colors these teams are wearing. It matters that this is Pitman and Clayton. This is a historic rivalry. This is a historic matchup. And obviously, going back 100 years, you don't get much better than this. If you're just joining us, we welcome you aboard as we're ready to go from Haupt Field, the Boatyard. We're underway. 100 Thanksgiving games, and this kickoff is going to be whistled dead because the Pitman returner, number 13, Eli Applegarth, was down on a knee. Let's take a look at that Pitman starting quarterback, Dane Collum. Your pregame previews presented by Harper Driving School. The quarterback, senior, number 1, a 59% efficient passer this season with 1,151 passing yards. He's got 14 TDs compared to 9 picks, and in his career he's done pretty well. He's thrown 26 passing touchdowns and with 150 career completions, and he's gotten some love in the D3 world, especially out of the WJFL Royal Division. Should be fun to watch him tonight.
Yeah, he's one of the players that's on Pitman that has been producing all season back there in the pocket, and he's been great. And I want to see what he can do here today in a game where you kind of have to just lay everything out. There's nothing to lose, and you have to go out there and just play your best.
First pass of the day is complete to the right side. It goes up to Aiden Upham, number 5, who rushes it to the right side and gets up to the 40-yard line. So this will be a gain of 22.
And Aiden Upham, he does everything. He runs the ball, and he can catch the ball. 631 receiving yards. But then if you see his rushing yards as well, 454. He leads the team in rushing and leads the team in receiving. He's one of those players that just plays every side of the ball in the offense.
Pitman lining up 1st and 10. They're at the 35, so it was a gain of 17 yards as Upham on the rush, taken down by number 20. On the play for the Clippers, or actually it looks like it was number 28, Michael Bull, the freshman. And Upham is going to be a guy that we're going to talk about a lot tonight. If Colum is not trying to pass the ball to Upham, he might as well be rushing the ball to Aiden Upham. And this is going to be somebody who is going to be really important to watch. But obviously Pitman, I wonder if these two teams are wearing some kind of throwback uniform, because I have not seen these teams wear this color combination before. And they both have Clippers and Panthers on the back of their jerseys. I definitely, if it's a new combination, I haven't been told about it, but it's interesting. With Colum in the shotgun, empty backfield, 4 wide receivers, and we've got movement and a flag. A flag is called against number 13, Michael Hibbert. The defensive end jumped that time, and it'll be a gain of 5 for the Panthers.
It might be I was thinking about it because this is the 100th career Thanksgiving Day game. Why don't you go out there and wear some throwbacks? You have them back in the closet. You might as well bring them out and wear them. I mean, you really can't miss the Clippers uniforms, but again, it's a nice nice jersey combo, and it's a little throwback there.
A spinning rush up the middle by Blaine Ackerman, the senior. He will get up to the 45-yard line, and it will not be enough for a first down. This will be spotted about a yard short. 3rd and 1. Line to gain is at the 44. Rush up the middle. They'll stack it, and they'll get it. No problem. Everybody's past the line of scrimmage, and Pitman's got a first down.
They baited the I formation and decided just to take the QB sneak. That was a great job by the offensive line just to push right through Clayton's defensive line, and you got a couple of yards on that play. Usually you only try to get the 1 to get the first down, but you got 3 or 4 yards, 2 or 3 yards on that play.
Yeah, so they got everything they could chew and then more. As Colum looking over to head coach Chris Thomas. This is his 11th Pitman Clayton game. The West Virginia grad joined the program in 2015. Oh, and more movement. Nice cadence from Colum. Let's see where this goes. It's going to be offside against the Clippers. About 2 or 3 linemen jumped that time. And that's going to move him up 5 yards right on top of the Clipper logo at the 49. 1st and 5 for the Panthers. Again, you don't want to give the Panthers any opportunities to score here. But, of course, this game is night and day compared to what the conditions were last year. It's 44 degrees today, and it's mostly sunny. Only a handful of clouds. It was a mud bowl last year with pouring rain at Davis Field. And this is going to be a rush that gets stopped hard. Clayton trying to send him down. They push him away. As a beautiful tackle that time, he somehow kept Jay Craig on his feet. Number 75, the big man, Riley Traum, the sophomore, comes in, and forward progress is only going to knock Pitman back about 3 yards. As look at this formation. Nobody on the right, 5 wide receivers to the left. It's caught by Upham. Clayton reads it. Ball comes out, and Colum falls on top of it.
That was just a great job by number 1, Haven Walls. He read that like a book. He saw the bunch formation at the bottom of the field. You kind of think they're going to throw it down there, try to just break the coverage off the screen, and that's exactly what he did. And now another tackle for loss, and he got the fumble, so he backed him up even more. Now it's a 3rd and long that Pitman has to try to convert.
Yeah, that was a big break that time. Haven Walls breaking it up. I mean, they saw 5 wide receivers to the left, and they read that so well. And now this really thwarts Pitman's drive as they're all the way back at their own 39. see if they can try to make him jump again. Clayton, oh, they did make him jump again. I mean, that wasn't even a lineman. He tried to sneak it, number 18, Anthony Briscoe, and he jumped. So Clayton, even if they can stop Pitman on this drive, it is still going to be interesting to see how the Clippers can respond because they have given up 3 neutral zone infractions in this possession alone.
That hard count by Dane Cullum has to be very, very good on that line. That's 3 times already on the first drive. That is insane, especially because you should be trying to read that. After the first time you make the mistake, you should be realizing that they're going to try to do it again. And they keep making the same mistake. It's really good by Dane Cullum. That's amazing by him.
Right at the 44-yard line, it's 3rd and 12. Line to gain is at the 44. Clayton's got to stay very calm here. Cullum steps up in the pocket. Pass is caught to Upham. The ball comes out again. It's a scramble. Clippers fall on it. Happy Thanksgiving to the Clayton Clippers.
They almost had the fumble in the backfield a couple of plays before, and then you finally make it. That would have been a first down, I think, with the motion and forward progress, but then just right from behind knocks it out. That's just a great job by the Clippers defense to get a turnover on the first drive, and now you set up yourself in a decent position to try to answer off this turnover.
Here's the Clayton quarterback, Gabriel Hill. The senior has not passed a lot in his career, but that's just how John Chamberlain wants it. He's 9 for 28, 189 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. In his career, 41 rushes, 348 yards, and 6 touchdowns. In his career, 23 for 53. Yeah, just 2 years under center. He's only thrown 53 passes, so we'll see how Clayton gets it, but just a gift. We know Christmas is a month away, but that was a gift right there. Let's take a look at that replay of this fumble as, again, just looking at it one more time, Cullum stepped back and he just dove forward and the ball came out and you could see all the open space that was there. 7:40 and counting, 7:20 and counting rather, in the first.
I know we're emphasizing a lot of this run game from Clayton, but their main guy, Deron Williams, not starting today. He's on the sideline in sweatpants, so it's going to be a big missing piece.
Here comes Gabriel Hill. He's going to pass deep downfield. It's caught. It's a rarity from Gabriel Hill, but he finds Nasir Walls into the end zone. Touchdown, 63 yards.
I was just talking about the run game and how Clayton's going to be using it all the time. And a surprise pass. We don't see it that often. And wow, just broken coverage, wide open, perfect pass right into the basket. And all you had to do was go right up the sideline and get it for 6. That's how you put an emphasis off the turnover for Clayton and to start this game.
After the extra point, we'll take a look at the replay. Clayton's going to go for 2. They don't have a rostered kicker on their team, so they will just, I think by default, they'll go for 2 pretty much all day. Oh, my goodness, 63 yards. Gabriel Hill to Nasir Walls, deep down the middle of the field. Can't believe we just saw that. That's the 6th career touchdown pass from Gabriel Hill in 2 seasons. They send Rem in motion. Now he's going to drop back again. He's going to dump off another pass, but this one's a little bit wide for Quaddy Walls. One more time. How about this? 63 yards. The Clippers lead this one 6-0 on this beauty of a touchdown pass. Welcome back to Haupt Field, the Boatyard in Clayton, New Jersey. It's the 100th Thanksgiving game between the Pitman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Thomas Gaffney on the call, Damian Waiters on the camera, Ben Wilden on the production. It's a rare four-man crew for DWB, but Trevor Rem is going to send this kick into the ground. That ball comes out, and diving on it right away is number, I believe that's 13. That's Applegarth who comes up with that one. So how does Pitman respond here? I mean, this was a very difficult drive for the Panthers. And if you consider the fact that we had so much going on right at the start, Pitman had a good drive. They had taken advantage of Clayton penalties, but they had themselves had ball security trouble. And then they have another ball security trouble with a fumble. Their second into the drive ends in a turnover, and 2 plays later, Gabriel Hill finds the end zone. What do they got to do?
I think they just got to keep it on the ground, or honestly just keep it simple, because you had that crazy trick play with the bunch formation at the bottom of the screen that caused the tackle for loss, and it went in the backfield. You just got to kind of limit those mistakes, and I think the Pitman's going to respond here. I think they know what they have to do to get down the field.
Rush up the middle. It'll be a neutral game tackle finished by Riley Traum, the sophomore. I apologize, we do have to adjust our microphones a little bit, because right in front of us, if you can't tell, is the wonderful Clayton Marching Band. They do an excellent job. One of the best in Group 1. I believe both marching bands are here today. Pitman setting up in their opposite bleacher in the bright orange and black and white. 6:10 to play in the first quarter. Collum in the shotgun with a double hike. Now he's going to fire this one over the middle. It's a low pass, tipped and incomplete. Aiden Upham almost saw your life flash before your eyes right there, as that was close to an interception, as Upham unable to come up with that one. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
I think Naheem Smith thought he could have got that one and grabbed it off the deflection up in the air, but he's kind of beating himself up on that one. But again, there's another chance for Pitman. That was a perfect, not a perfect throw, but again, if you make that catch, you get the first down, and now you're backed up on 3rd and 10, and now you have to try to convert here.
A rush for no gain and an incompletion brings us to 3rd and 10, halfway through the first quarter here just off of Academy Street in Clayton. They send Upham in motion. Collum drops back. You can see that very calm cadence in the pocket. Rolling out, right side, sliding and making the catch. They're going to say no. It is incomplete. The intended receiver was number 9, Blaine Ackerman. And it'll be 4th and 10, so they'll be backed up at the 30. Clayton got their first score on a 63-yard touchdown pass to Nasir Walls, the 6th career touchdown pass for Gabriel Hill. Again, just somewhat of a rarity to see that kind of passing offense from Clayton. Maybe they're doing something different in what would be Hill's last game. Obviously, both quarterbacks are seniors. They'll have new quarterbacks under center for the Clippers and the Panthers, as that's a high punt. This will be sent away by Ackerman. This one's a high floater, and it's going to take a huge tailspin. Ball comes out, and now Pitman falls on it, and actually, that's kind of a smart play. Pitman shoveled the ball forward, I don't know if intentionally or not, to get a couple extra yards out of that, and they'll bring Clayton to the 49 on their side of the field to start this drive. So that's it's a little bit interesting. I mean, that was a high punt by Ackerman. That had some serious height to it, and we do have a lot of whipping winds today, so he was kind of punting into the wind. Won't be too much of an issue later in the ball game, but think about Black Friday, Bears and Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field. They're going to have Chicago weather in Philly tomorrow night. But Clayton starts their second drive of the day, 5:43 left in the first, 6-0 Clippers. Handoff to the right side, number 14, Willie Weathers. The sophomore gets taken down at the 40 with a combination of number 5 and number 65. That's Aiden Upham and Ethan Kubat. It'll be a gain of, looks like about 7 yards. Second and short. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2nd and 3. Of course, Ethan Kubat, the younger brother of Kyle Kubat, who was the former quarterback for Pitman a handful of years ago. I believe he's now not playing college football, but he's at Tennessee. As left side, everybody stands up, and this will be a gain of 2. good blocking there from the Clayton offensive line. I think that I might be eating my words here, but I think that pass to Nyseer Walls was more of a statement pass and not more of what we'll see later today. I could be wrong. We could see Gabriel Hill get into it a lot more, but Pitman does have a player down. We could very well see some more rushing here from the Clippers, and I'll say this. I think if we do see more running, that offensive line is going to have to do a lot to keep that blocking up, because they're doing a great job right now with the blocking. Number 66, Wilhelm Pfeiffer, doing a great job up there, blocking on the left side of the line. But that's one thing that doesn't get talked about a whole lot in high school football, is how important those offensive lines are to a rush-heavy team.
Yeah, especially when you are rushing the ball. But I want to bring back when you said that pass was a statement. They wanted to come out. They lost the last two. They want to come out, and they want to win this game. And what's the best way to do it? You get a turnover, you get a fumble, and then on the first couple of plays, you make a statement, like you said, to just pass it downfield. Usually you don't see the Clippers pass that often. And guess what? Perfect pass and a touchdown. And now you set the tone for this game. And now your defense is going out there. Your defense has the momentum as well. You get a stop, and now you're on a drive. You're 3rd and short. I'm guessing this is 4-down territory. You're just going to try to drive down the field and try to make another statement on this game.
Rush over the middle on 3rd and short. Let's see where they spot this one. I think it's going to be good. Line to gains at the 36, and they do say it's enough for a Clippers first down.
And that was just great by the offensive line once again. Just an inside zone run, and they just kind of piled up right under center, and all you had to do was push for a couple of yards to get the first down, and now you have a fresh set of downs for the Clippers.
1st and 10 from the 35, 4:10 to play in the first. Another handoff. Pittman's, oh my goodness, did you see that? They just climbed the mountain. There was a dog pile on the line of scrimmage. Number 74, Paul Eller, caught some air. It's going to be a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Looks like they stacked the box a little bit right there. They anticipated the run on that first down, and Pitman sniffed it out, and just, again, a plethora of defenders, just a whole bunch around in one area, and all you had to do was kind of push them down. You only had probably half a yard there with gain.
Did you see how high up 74 got, though? Paul Eller?
A little bit of help from the defender as well.
Goodness.
He kind of jumped over his own teammate. But
here comes another handoff, finding some space. It's Quaddy Walls to the right side. Pittman breaking some tackles, and he is down just shy of the goal line. It's going to be a rush of 32 yards. And the the Clippers putting themselves in even better position now. It's first down and goal. They'll drop the sticks, leave them where you found them, and where Quaddy Walls will be spotted is at the 4-yard line. So a gain of 30 on the last play.
And Quaddy Walls just kind of he broke one tackle and then just saw open space and took it. And now you're in prime position to potentially go up 2 scores here.
Would be a great spot for Clayton to go up 2 here as the rush over the middle. They're 4 yards out. Everybody standing tall. The ball came out, but the whistles flew. The rush, I believe Hill took it himself. Tackle was finished off by number 65, Ethan Kubat, number 74, Paul Eller. And in the background of that shot, you could see Clayton High School. This game technically played off campus across the street, but I've seen off-campus football stadiums that are like, 20, 30, 40 minutes away, especially in the college world. You think of UCLA and the Rose Bowl. Yep. This is an off-campus stadium where you can literally see the school in the background, which I think is pretty cool. But 2 minutes and change to play in the first quarter. They're at the 3-yard line. Another rush over the middle and a touchdown. Number 7, Gabriel Hill takes it himself. And Gabriel Hill puts the Panthers in a predicament with the Clippers going up 2 scores here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they ran it the first time with the sneak, and they just tried it the second time and finally got in there up 2 scores. They're making a statement, but this time no Pitman defenders. Kind of just pushed right in, used his own teammates to kind of push the tush a little bit to get in the end zone. But now, pending this 2-point conversion as they try, as you said, there's no kicker on the roster. But again, you can go up, if you make this, go up by 14. That's a statement in the first quarter.
Hill hands off to Walls. They say it's good. So they make up for their last miss with a 2-point conversion. And I'll tell you this, the tush push is actually illegal in high school football. So you got to be careful a little bit with how that works, but we'll take a quick break. It's the Clippers 14 and the Panthers 0 here in the 100th Thanksgiving game here from Houck Field. Welcome back to Clayton High School. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on their first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pitman. And by RCSJ Gloucester, the athletic department, New Jersey's premier athletic organization for the NJSIAA Region 19. Become a Roadrunner today by visiting rcroadrunners.edu for athletic recruiting information. A short kick on top of midfield, and emerging from the pile are the Clayton Clippers. Jamal Brown, the senior, number 70. And Chris Thomas is coming out. He wants an explanation. I think he's saying that the ball didn't go the required number of yards.
I don't think it mattered because I think it hit off a Pitman.
Yeah, if it hits off of somebody, it doesn't matter.
I don't think Clayton touched the ball before it passed the 10-yard mark. But then once it did pass the 10-yard mark, you had a Pitman player touch the ball and it kind of rolled back past that 10-yard mark. But at that point, it doesn't even matter. But Clayton, again, just making an emphasis, an onside kick, and they recover it, and now they win the ball back again on their 50-yard line, and they're already up by 2 scores. They're looking to drive it up some more.
This is unbelievable. Clippers on the offense. They fake the end around. Right side. Left side, rather, for Hill. Tries to get the ball swiped out of his hand. You saw almost a slap that time by Blaine Ackerman trying to strip that ball away. Hill was able to get a lot of yards on the play. He'll get 4, or 5 rather. That's where he stepped out to 45.
And I think that was just a great job by Hill. He had the play action. He rolled out, and obviously he kind of looked downfield to try to throw the ball. There's no one there. And then he just took it himself. He used his speed very fast. And somehow I thought, surprised that he got 5 yards on that play. There was about 3 defenders in front of him, and he still got a couple of yards to gain.
Just a fantastic crowd on both sides tonight. Really not a lot of empty space on either bleacher. It's almost like it's a playoff game because this game means so much to both local communities. You know, we were speaking with both head coaches, Chris Thomas and John Chamberlain, as this is going to be a rush by Haven Walls, the junior. He will dive forward to the 38, and it'll be a first down Clippers. But speaking with both head coaches, they emphasized what this game meant to the communities. And, you know, I was thinking when I was talking to John Chamberlain, he went to Williamstown. He was a big school kid, went to Williamstown, graduated 2014, was a varsity running back at McDaniel College in Maryland, the Division III. And one of the things he said is that this means everything to Clayton. It means everything to Pitman, too, on their side. You know, because both of these teams missed the playoffs, and they had to find a way to have a little bit of team pride in them. And, you know, when John Chamberlain was saying, well, when I go to Heritage's in the morning for my lunch, he says, you know, the cashier asks me, are we going to beat Pitman this year? You know, when I'm in school walking the hallway, he says, are we going to beat Pitman this year? So it's an interesting sentiment. But that's how much these Thanksgiving games mean, is this is going to be a first down and then some for number 14, Willie Weathers. He will weather the storm, bring himself up to the 12-yard line for a huge gain of 26 yards. And the Pitman Panthers, man, we've got a minute left in the first quarter. They're in trouble right now. They are in deep trouble.
I think just Clayton's game plan coming into this game has just been lights out, and they've been doing it, and they've been perfecting it. And they're using the run game to their ability, as we saw. Obviously, we saw the first touchdown as a pass, but, again, ever since then, it's just been straight on the ground, and they've just been getting yards after yards. And now they're inside Pitman territory again, and potentially go up by 3 scores in the first quarter is actually insane in this big rivalry.
Over to the left side, rushed by Quaddy Walls. Yeah, we got to make some distinctions because there's 3 Walls on this team. Haven Walls, Niceer Walls, who caught the first touchdown, and Quaddy Walls. As that rush puts them inside the 10-yard line, they're going to be at the 9. So a gain of 3, 2nd and 8. 2nd and 7, rather. But, no, I mean, this game was a mud bowl last year in Pitman. Grass field at Pitman's Middle School, 7-0 Panthers. We were here 2 years ago. Pitman won 29-13, and that game was still close until the end. Even then, it was only a 2-score game. Haven Walls, he'll get taken down by a host of Panthers. Number 54, Dante Ianella, and number 77, Braden Gary.
Dan, you might know this. What year did the Clippers decide to switch from grass to turf?
I think it was just after the pandemic.
After the pandemic, okay.
Because this field was originally grass. If you go on like the Apple Maps satellite, it will still show you a grass field. But at the end of the first quarter, it's the Clippers 14 and the Panthers 0 in the 100th annual Thanksgiving game. Second quarter ready to go. 14 for Clayton, 0 for Pitman. The first rush of the second quarter is over the middle, pushing forward, no whistles, and into the end zone. Touchdown Clippers. Wow. Laboring his way in, Niceer Walls, his second of the day. And the Clippers on the first snap of the second quarter lead this thing by 20 points. I think when I said, Thomas, that we were going to be witnessing one of the closest Thanksgiving games of the slate this year, I might have to eat my words on that one, at least right now.
I know, up 20-0 in this first half, and I think neither of us expected this.
No, not at all.
But, again, Walls just completely found the gap, and he broke a couple of tackles, and his teammates. It's all help. It's Thanksgiving. You got to thank your teammates, and that's what he did, and they pushed him right into the end zone, and, again, you can go up
22
if you get this, and, wow. After just the first quarter, 10 seconds into the second quarter, Pitman's going to have to respond on offense if they can get this ball back.
20-0 Clippers. They send Haven Walls in motion. They do a fake handoff twice, and he falls down. Tackle was finished off by number 53, Joan McCoggan, and we will remain at 20-0 Clippers.
Actually, I think they called back the touchdown.
Oh,
there was
you're
a
right.
penalty.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I was confused because they lined up very far back, not on the 2-yard line. Usually, what you line up for a 2-point conversion. I was confused why they lined back so far, but it looks like there was a penalty.
Yeah, that scoreboard now reading 14-0. You're right. I apologize. Don't know what it was exactly. I think I remember that happening one of the other times we were at Clayton where we're like, oh, they're going to line up for a deep 2-point conversion. And then we're like, no, it wasn't a touchdown. So we'll see if Clayton can get a third into the end zone. Quaddy Walls lining up behind the quarterback. Hill will drop back. fires from the pocket, tipped away, broken up, intended for Nicaea Walls, broken up by number 5, Aiden Upham. And even in this effort that right now is not a winning effort for the Pitman Panthers, Aiden Upham is the player that we mentioned is going to be somebody to watch. He is the leading rusher. He is the leading receiver on this Pitman team. He is getting defensive breakups. He's getting tackles. With Pitman, they only have 30 players on their roster. You are almost forced to play both sides of the ball because that's just how it is. This is a Group 1 team. You know, enrollment numbers are a little bit lower than I'm sure they would like. I'm sure that's the same for Clayton. Clayton's got a little bit bigger of a roster, probably around 35, 38 players. And we've got whistles. Clayton's clapping on their side. Let's see where this goes. Can't see the white cap. It's going to be against the Panthers. False start, did they say, or was that offside?
It was false start. I think he tried to do the hard count again, but I think his lineman jumped this time.
Oh, okay.
That's how good the hard count is. It's been amazing.
Here comes the pass. It is complete, and Column gets it to number 5, or number 9 rather, Ackerman. So Pitman now on offense, and before they could even get their first play, got to about, looks like 9 yards, 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 for Pitman.
So with Pitman now down 2 scores, instead of 3, I would say the prospect of them getting in the end zone of this drive with the fierceness that Pitman has, I would say it's pretty high, as here comes the rush over the middle. I would try to be a little bit more bold on that play, just to try to get as many yards as you can, but I think Clayton's going to have this offense figured out a little bit where they're going to try to stack the box as much as they can.
I'm surprised it was a run. I mean, 2nd down, I don't think this is 4-down territory for Pitman, so now on 3rd down, it's a 3rd and 3, or 3rd and 4 as well. He didn't get a yard at all on that play. Now you have to decide if you're going to throw the ball or decide to maybe a design run that you can get some blockers out in front and try to pick this up, because if Clayton gets another stop here, it's just going to put another emphasis on this game.
Handoff, a delayed handoff. No, Column keeps it, throws it away into the Clayton sideline. A little bit of jarring back and forth there with Column and Haven Walls. It'll now set up 4th down, and Pitman's bringing out their punt crew.
As they shoulding. The Clippers, again, just a big stance on defense. The defense is coming up strong. The offense is going out there, doing their job. Unfortunately, a penalty calls back that 3rd touchdown, but again, Clayton just putting an emphasis on all sides of the ball. Defense, offense, special teams as well. They have the onside kick. They're doing it all.
This will be taken by Ackerman. Can't tell who's back there to receive for the Clippers. This one's booted really well. That's number 6, Trevor Rem. He's going to bounce. Again, kicking with the wind at your back, it will help out the Panthers. And trapped that far back, they put the Clippers in their own territory. A lot of people don't talk about punters in high school, but Blaine Ackerman's a darn good punter.
I think he just got unlucky twice. I think the one, yes, you're pushing against the wind on that first punt, but unlucky bounce kind of pushes it back into your own territory. Now this time, I think that ball, again, just took another unlucky bounce. If it got a good bounce, it could have rolled deep into Clayton's territory, and they would have started the ball on maybe their even 35 or 30-yard line. But again, that ball just bounced right up and just stuck right on the 45-yard line there. And
yeah, I think with that, I mean, it was an unlucky bounce. I was more praising the fact of how far he got that ball in the air.
He did.
Because there's a lot of air yardage on that play. He had a lot of air yardage on the last punt that was into the wind. But Clayton takes over, 9:06 to play in the 2nd quarter. They rush up the middle, spinning forward, up to the 48. Looked like it was Haven Walls on the carry.
Gain it 9 yards on the play, takes the ball to the Pitman 47.
Got 8 yards up to the 47-yard line.
Surprised got 8 yards in that one. There was 3 or 4 defenders on top of him, and he just broke a couple of tackles and looked like it should have only been like 1 or 2 yard gain right around the line of scrimmage. He just broke right through, used his speed, used his strength, and got 8 yards on that play. That was just a great job by Walls.
Yeah, Clayton's going to use their strength in numbers today, and I think that that's going to be something that could help them out. It's going to be a big advantage for Clayton if they can use the trio of Walls brothers to get in there. Quaddy Walls, left side. Pitman trying to take him down. We've got a penalty flag behind the line of scrimmage. Tackle was finished by Ackerman, but we do have a penalty flag. We're going to have a hold on the offense.
It's an unlucky break for this Clippers offense because, again, I think that run kind of should have gotten tackled near the line of scrimmage as well, and he still had a couple of yards on that play, got the first down, but unfortunately that holding penalty is going to knock him back a little bit.
14-zip in favor of the Clippers. They started off the scoring with a 63-yard touchdown pass to Nasir Walls from Gabriel Hill, and then the second score came in on a 2-yard rush by Gabriel Hill. They had a third, but it was called back, and they eventually left with no points. But remember, the last time Clayton won this game in this rivalry was 2022, the first year of John Chamberlain being a head coach. He took over for Corey Harvey. Don't know where he's coaching now, but he took over for Corey Harvey, won 20-14 in overtime in his first year. Pittman's won the last 2. Pitman has won 3 of the last 5 and has won 66 of the first 99 games. But when I brought that up to John Chamberlain, it was more about it doesn't matter what the numbers are. There was a year where Clayton was a playoff team, Pitman was not, and Pitman won the Thanksgiving game. There was another year where Pitman was not a playoff team, Pitman was a playoff team and Clayton wasn't, and Clayton won the Thanksgiving game. There's so many things that can happen, and sometimes in these local rivalries with so much community pride on the line, I mean, you can see how packed this is. There's no room to sit in the Pitman bleachers, and there are fans that are standing all along the wide fences of this boatyard here at Haupt Field. 3rd and 11. Again, the holding penalty got back against the Clippers as now, how about this? Quaddy Walls diving forward. That's going to be another big gain. It will be a gain of 16 yards. And Quaddy Walls on 3rd and long is able to get everything in his power to break through the Pitman defense, and he's got a first down for the Clippers.
And I'm just surprised by the Wall brothers right now because they are going out there and, again, they're getting yards that I do not expect them to get, and they're just using their strength, size, and they're finding holes. And then once they do get tackled, they're not getting brought down for another 2 or 3 yards after that. They're gaining as much as possible, and that was just a great run right there.
1st and 10 from the 39. Hill, handoff to Haven Walls. Spinning forward. Tackle in the back. Finished off. There's a Pitman player down. He gets up on his own power. That's number 77, Braden Gary. And it is 2nd and 7. Gain of 3. But, yeah, I mean, these Thanksgiving games, they matter. You know, the kids talk about it in school. I remember when I was at Audubon, and we always play Haddon Township. We've played them, I believe, since 1965. They won 56-0 last night. That was on WIP. Got to listen to that game a little bit. Congratulations to my alma mater. But there's only 6 Thanksgiving Day games on the actual day this year. We had 1 the night before, and we do have whistles here. False start, maybe? And it is against the Clippers. So that'll bring him back to 2nd and long. But there's Paul Sixth Camden Catholic. There's Camden East Side and Camden. Of course, East Side, for those of you who might not know, they're formerly Woodrow Wilson. There's Haddonfield and Haddon Heights, Vineland and Millville, Holy Spirit and Atlantic City, and then Pitman Clayton. And there were so many more. As recently as 2019, there were 25 Thanksgiving matchups, 19 on the day and 6 the night before. There was Bishop Eustis and Pennsauken. There was Williamstown, Washington Township. Thomas, you went to Deptford. Was there a Thanksgiving game there when you were there?
I don't think so, but there was a one-off game, I think, against West Deptford my freshman year, and then obviously sophomore year was the COVID year. So I think they wanted to start a tradition.
Just didn't happen.
It kind of rolled down after the COVID happened.
Yeah, it's hard to establish traditions in the eyes of COVID. We've got 2 penalty flags down. The pass is caught. This one might be coming back. Caught by number 44, the tight end, Ethan Rodriguez. Let's see what the penalty flags are. There are 2 on the play. There's
penalty flag is against Clayton.
it's a penalty flag against the offense. Illegal shift, I think, is the call. And they were already on 2nd and long. Again, John Chamberlain in his 4th Thanksgiving Day game. Graduated from McDaniel College in 2019. He was a 2014 grad of Williamstown. But these are the matchups that the kids talk about for weeks going up to the game. You know, as soon as the team gets knocked out of the playoffs, we're like, okay, we got to go play Thanksgiving now. You know, this is the team that – think about it this way. Pitman and Clayton, there's probably some kids on these teams that know each other very well. They might be very good friends off the field. They might be teammates in a travel baseball team or a, AAU basketball team. You don't know, but got 2 Pitman players looking for the tackle, a hard tackle that time. Coming up with it, number 11, Will Clark, and number 5, Aiden Upham. A great story was written by Bill Evans a few weeks ago, or actually just a few days ago, on Will Clark, number 11. He is born with one arm. If you can see there, his right arm, it stops below the elbow. And he was born with it, and he was adopted from China in 2009. It's a fantastic story by Bill Evans, but we do take a quick break. It is Clayton calling their first time out with 4:11 left to play in the first half. Coming back from the timeout, there's Will Clark. You can see there he has a full left arm, but he is missing the bottom half of his right arm. There was a great story by Bill Evans about it. It was a fantastic story, and he is one of Pitman's leading tacklers. And more or less what he said is that he's just used to it. And when he talked to his family into letting him play football, the fact that he was missing an arm wasn't even a discussion point. It was the concussions. It was that made their family worried, not about that. But he is such a resilient player, great kid as well. Just getting to know these guys from Pitman, fantastic story there. But came up with the tackle on that last play. So it is 4th and 9. Line to gain is at the 29, but Pitman, they're going to have to get something going if they want to be competitive in the halftime break. Man in motion. Hill, right side, lets it fly. This one's deep. Got him open. Ball came out incomplete. Double breakup by number 5, Aiden Upham. Niceer Walls was the intended receiver, but Applegarth and Upham come up with the breakup. And it will be 1st and 10 after the turnover on downs by the Clippers.
I think that was just a great job by Niceer Walls as well. I think he got up on that play. He had possession of that ball, but just on the come down and trying to just get on the ground, just popped right out. Great job by the Pitman defenders, but I think that was a great job by Walls to jump up and get that one. Just unfortunately couldn't grab it. And that's what Pitman needed. They needed to stop, and now they get the ball back. And be 3 minutes, 21 seconds left in this first half. You got to go and try to at least get a score here.
Dropping back. Collum looks to his left, fires over the middle. It's tipped up and picked on the first play. Number 28. It's a flag. He's still on the play. He's still running to the 50, to the 40. He's down there. But Michael Bull, the freshman, comes up with an interception. Let's see where this flag goes.
I think the flag's coming after the play,
yeah, I think
after
it's
the
after
interception. So I think they're still going to stand, but it may back them up a little bit if it was on Clayton.
Penalty was against the Clippers. You can actually see the cars up on the top of the hill. There's a cemetery across the street. And you could see where all the cars have parked for, I guess, the overflow parking. There is not a lot of parking here at Clayton. I got here an hour before kickoff at 9:30, and I was struggling to find a parking spot close to the press box. This is going to go way back, all the way to the 20. So this penalty flag must have been almost immediately after Bull's interception. We do have some out-of-town Thanksgiving scores. Atlantic City leads Holy Spirit 21-0 at the half in their 97th matchup. Millville leads Vineland 27-0. I'm sorry, 27-7 at the end of the first quarter. Oh my goodness. See what else we got here. I mean, there's only 7 games, so we'll check in, see if we can get anything from PVI Camden Catholic. Obviously, Audubon beat Haddon Township 56-0 last night. I believe that's the 8th year in a row that they have kept the Curly Cup. Hill, right side. 3 minutes to play in the half. Hill is not going to get ahead of the line of scrimmage. This is going to be a sack. Pittman with a hard tackle and a flag. That's a tackle out of bounds. You got to make sure this doesn't spill over here. Blaine Ackerman with the tackle, but the flag, I don't even know if he knows that there was a flag there. He came up all giddy on the play, but this is going to be a late tackle, an illegal tackle. Or at least I think it is. It'll be a 15-yard penalty if that's the case. Because just from what I could tell, Hill was going out of bounds. I think in that case it will be unnecessary roughness. A personal foul. It is against the Panthers. 15-yard penalty. You cannot make mistakes like that. Even in a heat of a rivalry like this, you just can't do it. And that is going to be a big blow for the Panthers because they need to stop Clayton on this drive. You just had something good going for you. Your first play after a turnover on downs is to give the ball right back to Clayton. I'm sure if we went through the tape, I think Clayton has the ball for about 80% of this first half. And, you know, with Pittman, they will also not receive to start the second half. Clayton's going to get it back, so that's just another nail that they're going to try to lay in here at Haupt Field. 2:30 and counting in the second quarter. Handoff to Weathers. Left side, gets tripped up below the knees by number 2, Sam Adams. And it'll be 7 yards.
If Sam Adams did not get there, I feel like number 14, Weathers, is going to break one up the left sideline. That was just a great tackle because if he did not stop him there, that could have been gone for 6. And, again, just a great tackle. And in the heat of November, Sam Adams comes up strong.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a lot of heat in November. It's 45 degrees here in Clayton. But, again, I'm just glad it's not pouring rain like it was last year because this sunny day has allowed more people to come out here for this Thanksgiving game. People are easily deterred by rain. Adams is going to get another tackle here, back-to-back, as he celebrates with the Pittman sideline. Second straight rush by Michael Bull. Or no, that was Willie Weathers there. Michael Bull did have the interception. It'll be 3rd and 2. And only a minute 20 left. Pittman has all 3 timeouts. Clayton has 2 remaining. So if Clayton wants to get the time preservation going, they might want to use a timeout if they get a first down here. And even if they don't, I would use it anyway. Here comes the rush. Weathers, this is going to be close. He will get the first down. That'll bring him up to the 39. So Clipper first down. Under a minute to play in the half. Stay tuned for the DWB Archives program where we show you the best of the best from our 4 years of DWB broadcasting in South Jersey. From walk-off hits to game-winning shots and much more. We'll give you a little bit of entertainment during this halftime show. Hill goes back to pass. Ball got tipped up and incomplete. That was tipped up ahead of the line. Look at it. I was surprised Braden Geary didn't just go all in dead red on Hill. He actually stood back a little bit instead of rushing the QB, seeing if he could deflect the pass up. And in that case, he was able to successfully deflect the pass. And it now sets up 2nd and 10 with 36 seconds left after the incompletion.
But if you're able to deflect that pass up and get a good break, get an interception.
Just like how Clayton got the interception. That was on a tipped pass.
Exactly, and if you had no one in front of you, you were able to kind of run that one back and try to get at least points on the board with the deflected pass and interception, but unfortunately just no one there to catch the ball for Pitman.
They send Weathers in motion. Here comes another tackle. Look out below. Merry-go-round. Ball comes out. And the whistles are going to blow this one dead.
Weathers on the carry.
Weathers was tackled by a combination of Jay Craig and Sam Adams. Pittman's going to call a timeout, it looks like.
Ball spot at 39.
That's the first called by the Panthers. Both teams have 2 remaining. 27 seconds remaining in the second quarter. It's the Clippers 14 and the Panthers 0. Timeout called by Pittman. Both teams have 2 remaining. Weathers on the carry, driving through the middle. Craig takes him down. Tackle finished by Joey McCoggan. And Pittman calls another timeout. They have 1 remaining. We'll stay right here. Let's run down the schedule for next week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. On Tuesday, we kick off, or I should say drop off, the ice hockey season. We're from the Hollydale Ice Arena. I mean, I don't want to say kickoff, but I also don't want to say tip-off because the puck gets dropped. But it's the puck drop of the 2025-26 ice hockey season from the Hollydale Ice Arena in Sewell, New Jersey at 3:05 between the Princeton Day Panthers and the Gloucester Catholic Rams. This will be our first of 10 games with Gloucester Catholic this season. We are doing all of their home ice hockey games. Most of them will be between 3 and 3:30 between a lot of prep schools in North Jersey. So they're going to be making a lot of travel arrangements, but we will be making our arrangements with the Hollydale Ice Arena. Again, our first Tuesday, December 2nd. So I've got the whole weekend off. That's great.
Number 6, Trevor Rem.
After the Pittman timeout, Clayton will go back to punt. Rem will punt.
Pittman, Aiden Upham.
Upham will receive. But yeah, that's our first ice hockey game of the year, our first of 10, not including our street hockey games with the ABHA. That one is a decent knuckler. It's going to land straight on the ground. Clayton's got to get away from it. They pick it up at the 47, so 13 seconds left. And with Pittman not having the ball to start the second half, how much of a risk are you willing to take here to get a score from 53 yards out?
It's going to be tough. I feel like you might have
one timeout.
One timeout. You could run one play if you really wanted to. But then if you go on that second play, I don't know if you have the arm strength to get down to the end zone, or you can set up a couple of screens and maybe get a lucky break and get a lucky tackle in front of you, and you can kind of break one. But I'm going to be interested to see what kind of game plan Pittman rolls out here with only 13 seconds left in the clock in this first half.
One timeout. They have 53 yards to go. 2 receivers on each side. Collum drops back, breaking through the line. He's in trouble. Gets hit 6 ways from Sunday. And Pittman is going to call that timeout as the sack is finished by number 2, Naeem Smith, and number 5, Quaddy Walls. I think that was a 3-way sack right there. Clayton just hit him in all different directions. And the Panthers call their last timeout with 5.7 seconds remaining in the first half. Again, stay tuned for the DWB Archives program where we show you clips of the best from DWB over our 4-year history. And stay tuned for the halftime show presented by Gray Fox Sports, where we break down what happened in the first half and where this game can go from here with the Clippers up 14-zip. It's the first time that the Clippers have led at halftime since 2022 in this Thanksgiving game. But, I mean, just looking at the history, like we said, Pittman and Clayton 2-2 in their last 4 years. Clayton won in 2021 and 2022, 14-8 and 20-14 in overtime, respectively. We even had a 0-0 game in 1933 and a forfeit in 1940. And a lot of low-scoring games throughout this rivalry. Just what I'm seeing on the program is there's a lot of low-scoring games overall, but we'll talk about that later. Collum in more trouble. Lets it fly for a Hail Mary in double coverage. Tipped up. One-handed. Oh, and he bobbled it away. Aiden Upham couldn't get there. And that is going to bring us to the end of the first half. He was in double coverage, and he almost tipped the ball up to where he could have gotten it, but instead it comes up empty. And the Clayton Clippers, after starting off quite hot on Thanksgiving Day, they end up falling a little bit short, but they still go into the halftime locker room up by 2 scores. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. It's the Clayton Clippers 14 and the Pitman Panthers 0 in the 100th annual historic Thanksgiving game here at the Boatyard.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard. with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field. And it gets past everybody. Graham will go back to position with no goal scored. They'll count down the time out loud here. Out to the left. One final shot, and it gets through. How about a buzzer beater? How do you do? It's a lead extending goal for Justin Lewis. To end the day for Luke Pokrovsky. Little pop-up, first base side, he calls for it. And for the first time in 33 years, the Charlotte Cougars will hoist the trophy and face Middlesex on Monday. 4-3. Cougars win it. And in the battle of green and gold, the trophy stays true with the visitors. What a finish! And Shalleck will pack their bags for Middlesex and the Blue Jays when the weekend turns around to Monday. Epplite, you know, he's, again, one time leaving the bases loaded is frustrating enough, doing it twice in a row. Oh, how about this? Line drive. They're going to... No, he's throwing it around the infield. They're going to throw him out at first. He's out. I have never seen that before. That is a 5-4-3 ground out because the third baseman thought he caught it. The home plate umpire said no, so he threw it around the infield and then got the out at first anyway because the batter thought he was out.
The batter stopped. The third baseman thought
Everybody
he caught
stopped.
it, and it touched.
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the sixth. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning.
So after the holding call to be 1st and 20, as now rolling out to the right side, he's got a little bit of room to run on a QB rush. He's going to get a first down. There's no flags, and how about this for 61 yards? Anthony Gaetano with a QB rush that works to perfection. He hugs the sideline, and Anthony Gaetano gets the scoring started for the Red Hawks at 7-6.
Jack Mostero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mostero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mostero playing hero. An unbelievable.
Literally, they've been here twice, and they're about to score, or on the doorstep of scoring 50 for the second game in a row. Xavier Terry Brown. He is still on his feet. He's being shoved forward into the end zone. But who's got the ball? Look at Jason Solomon. The ball magically appeared in Woodbury's hands, and now they're back at the 50. This one's going back. This one's going to go to the distance. I don't see any flags. Did that just go for 100 yards? I think it did. I do not see any flags as Woodbury. Oh my goodness, Jason Solomon, have a day. He is the first man not named Taylor to score.
Wow, that was good.
2 minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. 1 more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving three, good! It's a 1-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in! St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3. Here we go. Mastero pulls up. He goes to 3! 6 points! Jack Mastero has tied the game with 90 seconds remaining. How will the Wildcats respond with a miss of... Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a star. 1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down. And he went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. Taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0. He's donning the number 34 and the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop it. It's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0. And here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game. A 3-run inside the Parker to the 2. It will be inbounded by Pat Monahan. Oh, the ball gets away. Who's going to have it? GCIT will hang on to the possession. It goes to Stanwood. Stanwood inside. They'll get the shot off. It's good! Unbelievable! Gloucester calls the timeout, but will they get it? Unbelievable! Unbelievable! A double contest shot from Hellman! Wow. Ryan James wanted the timeout, but did they get it in time? Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a .400 average in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, .331 career mark and a .430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just talking about the long ball, and he stomps on the plate, mobbed at home, and Goldberg, the leadoff man, with a swing of gold. It's 1-0. BB and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th annual. They are back on top for the first.
And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game. And here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play. The force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play.
Launches one foul. See, Mostero's doing us a service here. Or excuse me, D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro is doing us a service here. He's letting us have this conversation by having a long at-bat. But a lot of people are still caught up in the D1 or bust mentality. Listen to this crowd. Listen to this crowd. We'll talk about that later. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Clapping it up here for the Roadrunners. 2-2. Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! 3-run homer! D'Alessandro! And it's a 1-run game at the crack of the bat. 5-4. 3-run shot to center field. Trailing towards the right center, and the cleanup man does exactly what the position orders, cleaning up. And he does it incredibly well with a 5-4 game. He battles for 11 pitches.
They were able to get out unscathed in the 3rd, but now the 4th isn't looking so kind. There's a high drive, deep center, way back, and it is out of here! John Pelosi! 3-run home run! He's left the building to dead center! And John Perosi's blown this game wide open. Have yourself a celebration, Johnny.
Will lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in game 1. 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0.
Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh, my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game.
Second half ready to go here from Hauptfield and Clayton. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Thomas Gaffney Jr., Damian Waiters. Unfortunately, we put him outside. He's got to run the camera from out there, but a great first half for the Clayton Clippers so far.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. The first couple of possessions, they went out there, scored a touchdown off a pass, and they kind of set the standard for what the rest of the game or what the rest of the first half looked like. And they just continued to play their game, got a couple of turnovers. They almost went up by 3 scores. Unfortunately, a penalty kind of pushed them back there, but they're still up 14-0, and they've been dominating that first half.
Well, after an extended halftime break, we'll go to the kickoff, so we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Two, one. Pitman to kick this one off to start the second half here from the Boatyard, Hauptfield at Clayton High School in Clayton, New Jersey. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Thomas Gaffney Jr. on the call. Pitman with a squib kick gets stopped. And Clayton will start from the 45. Of course, Clayton looking for their first Thanksgiving win since John Chamberlain's first year as head coach back in 2022. Had a 20-14 overtime win. When we were here last in 2023, Pitman won 29-13. And in last year's game at Davis Field in Pitman, it was a mud bowl, and the final score was just 7-0 Panthers. Panthers on defense, though, to start the second half. Gabriel Hill with a handoff, plenty of flags. The ball comes out, but I would imagine that any of this is not going to stand. Let's see here. Pitman's got the ball, but I think this isn't going to count because I think we're going to have penalties here. Coming up with it with Eli Applegarth and Sam Adams. As we're just about to hit high noon here at Clayton.
Play recovered by Pitman.
Illegal shift on the Panthers. On the Clippers.
Penalty flag is against the Clippers. That penalty is declined by.
So it's going to be Pitman ball. Because it's an illegal shift, that's going to count. Because it's a penalty against the Clippers, that fumble will count. And the Panthers take over on the first play of the second half.
That's a great job by the Panthers to just go out there and be able to set the standard in the second half. You're down by 2 scores, and you get a fumble on the first possession, the first play of the drive for the Clippers, and now you win this ball back. And it's kind of like you're getting the ball starting the second half here.
Collum with a dump off to the left side for Upham, who breaks free. Gets himself up to the 45.
Number 5, Aiden Upham.
Gets about 9 yards.
Tackled by number 44, Ethan Rodriguez of Clayton.
Ball is spotted at the 45-yard line. They are 1 yard away from the first down. As we just get started in the second half. Oh, movement. The nose tackle, or the defensive end jumped. Hayden Walls apologizing to his sideline, and that's going to be a first down for the Panthers.
After the offside penalty against Clayton.
We saw it there in the first half with Dane Cullum in his hard count. And, again, the Clippers just jumping off sides, getting an extra 5 yards there to start off the second play of this first drive for the Panthers to potentially go down and try to come back in this game in the second half.
Handoff from Collum, right side to the big gentleman Upham. Clayton's going to throw him down. A lot of tackles made around that time. Quaddy Walls and number 10, actually no, that's number 70, being Jamal Brown, the senior. And actually, it is number 0, Jay Craig, who is down, but he's able to get up quickly. I think because the clock stopped for him, he does have to go to the sideline for one play because it'll count as an injury timeout. Which for Pitman, every substitution you have to make does matter. Just because you've got only 30 players on the roster.
Correction, 2nd and 13.
Clayton was able to really take advantage of a lack of forward progress and get up there into a loss of 3. Ball almost came out. Collum fumbled with it. Now he's going to take it himself, and he will take himself out on the sideline. Naeem Smith and Jamal Brown taking him out of town.
That was just great by Cullum. He saw the low snap, and he stayed composed, picked the ball back up. He looked up, didn't see anything downfield, and he had to take it himself. This is a great job getting positive yards in that play off of that bobbled snap.
T-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies. These are all available.
3rd and 10. Collum was able to make up the difference by getting a 3-yard rush on the right side. 45 degrees and partly sunny today. If it was overcast or if it was at night, we would be suffering out here in Clayton. Collum drops back in the pocket, lets it fly. It's caught on the far side. Number 9, Blaine Ackerman, comes up with a huge play for a gain of 25. And Collum doing what he does best. The first half, Dane Collum did not look like the second half, Dane Collum. He picks up a big first down.
Now it's just blown coverage by the Clippers secondary, and Ackerman just was able to blow free in the secondary, and all Collum had to do was make that pass. There was no one around him, and that was just a great job getting downfield, and now you're in prime position to potentially get your first points on the board in the second half and in the game.
Panthers lining up in the I form. 2 rushers behind number 1 as this will be a fake on the play action pass is caught. It's Will Clark who caught it. He is going to bring that one down to the 10-yard line. And Will Clark gets the job done, gets him up for 8 yards to the 10-yard line. How about that?
This is a great story, great play, and great catch as well.
He made that catch as if there was if there was nothing different.
He
with
is
him.
a normal person. He can go out there, you can go play football. You have other players that, like Jakeem Griffin in the NFL, who also same kind of way, no hand on the left side, and JPP doesn't have any fingers, and they still go out there and play all their heart out.
I was just about to say, Jason Pierre-Paul, is this one? Look out. Oh, he gets thrown down, and that's a flag. Had a feeling that was coming. John Chamberlain's coming out. He is livid with his players. A second flag comes down. And even on Thanksgiving, there's not a lot of love at the table right now, as this is going to be at least one personal foul against Clayton, I would have to imagine, for disrupting the forward progress and on the late tackle. It's going to be a personal foul against the Clippers. There is a second unsportsmanlike call. So because they're all offsetting, I mean, what do you do here? If that was on the normal part of the field, that would be a 30-yard penalty. But you only have 11 yards to go. Do you just line them up at the goal line? I don't know what you would do there. I mean, if you went 30 yards from the spot of the foul, you'd be in the back of the school bus. You'd be in the parking lot. I mean, that wasn't even too egregious, but it was deserved. I mean, that was – you just can't do that. Just cannot do that in this situation, and that's gifting Pitman a huge break right now. They're going to be stacked up at the 3-yard line. Automatic first down. I formation for Collum and company. Pitman looking for their first score of the day in the 100th annual Thanksgiving game. Taking their time here. Now the clock will run. 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. 3 yards out from the end zone. Collum hands off to the left side for Jay Craig, the running back, who's going to get maybe a yard or two. Second and goal.
Tackle short of the end zone, no yards on the
over the middle. Ball came out. Oh, it's Clayton ball with a little bit of flair from the white cap. Pitman fumbles the ball at the goal line. And Clayton will take over deep in their own territory. Chris Thomas coming out. He disagrees with it. And there's also a Pitman player down in the middle of the pile. Clayton got exactly what they wanted there. Stopping Pitman on the goal line. It's one thing to stop them on the goal line. It's another thing to take over on the goal line. Great play there.
So funny enough, it comes full circle. Number 70, Jamal Brown, was on that penalty with the personal foul that pushed them into the goal line and territory for prime position to score. And then he comes up big, pushes through the offensive line, gets a tackle, and then also gets the fumble. And now the Clippers take back over off of almost a chance where Pitman could have lessened the lead to 7 and got their first points on the board. And just the Clippers defense has just been coming up strong this whole game. But again, a full circle moment for number 70, Jamal Brown right there.
So Pitman's athletic training staff coming out to them. I thought Chris Thomas was coming out to disagree and argue the fumble, but it actually was because of that player that's down. So we'll take, well, I was going to say we'll take a quick break, but I think that player is going to get up shortly. He is moving, so that's a good sign. But they're just stretching out the legs right now as we're going to take a quick break. It is 14-0 Clayton as Pitman fumbled at the goal line to turn the ball over. Coming back from the injury timeout.
Several impressive items. 22-inch Blackstone grill, 65-inch TV.
They're auctioning off some, not auctioning, but they're doing a raffle for some items down there. The public announcer just said 22-inch Blackstone grill. I've been needing one of those. From the 2-yard line, Clayton with a little bit of space. Gabriel Hill taking it himself. He's going to take himself out of bounds behind the Pitman sideline at the 20. It'll be a first down, assuming there's no flags.
Gabriel Hill picks up a first down for Clayton.
And I was going to say, Clayton is just standing there. I guess, did he go out of bounds sooner than we thought? No, he's over at the, it is a first down, but he was out a lot earlier than I thought he was at the 14. First and 10. There was a penalty flag on the 14-yard line. Flag came in from the side judge, and this is going to be against Clayton. Game's just kind of coming to a halt. We had like a 20, 22, 23-minute halftime, and we had marching band performances, which were fantastic. We had cheerleading performances, and Clayton had their senior day. I mean, it's 12:09 right now. We started this game an hour and a half ago. Now, it won't be as long, not nearly, as Glassboro-Woodbury from earlier this year. Were you on the call for that one?
I was not.
I forget which Woodbury game you were there for. Maybe it was Gateway. Can't remember now. I can't remember which one it was, but my point is that game was 3 hours and 19 minutes from the time of the first kickoff to the last snap, as Hill will run on the left side, gets tripped up. He'll get down at the 19. Tackle finished by Joey McCoggan. We have another penalty flag down. It's going to be another one against the Clippers. One step forward, 2 steps back right now.
And I think that's what's been happening with this Clippers offense. It's just penalty after penalty, and the defense comes up strong, gets the turnover on downs, or gets the turnover in the fumble, or they do stop Pitman, and then the offense goes out there. They're getting positive yards. They're going down the field, but then these penalties just backing them up. Just time after time, and it's kind of just halting the offense and what they can do.
Well, if you remember earlier in the game, in the first drive, in a drive that ended with a Pitman fumble, Clayton had 3 neutral zone infractions, almost in a row. And we mentioned briefly, we said these guys have to settle down on penalties to win this game. Now, of course, they're having a little bit of luck right now, but now those penalties on the defensive side are coming back to bite them on the offensive side as well, as we've seen plenty. With 1st and 16, they're lined up at the 4-yard line. First down marker is actually, I'm sorry, it's up to 25, so they are first and 20.
Number 5, Quaddy Walls on the carry.
Walls was on the carry. I'm a little bit surprised that Clayton is taking this really conservative approach here, but I think when you're up by 2 scores, you do kind of have to take it a little bit slow.
I think you're just trying to roll the clock down as much as possible. You're running the ball. You're up by 2 possessions. Your defense coming up strong. So if you can just kind of roll the clock down a little bit and try to just limit the time that's left for Pitman to try to respond, I feel like that's what you have to do on the offense, to game plan and just settle down.
Yeah, right now, I mean, if you take 40 seconds off the clock, you're going to limit as many possessions that Pitman can have. We've got more whistles. It is going to be a false start on the offense. So they're already back at the 9. This will bring them back to the 4-yard line. Just a lot of bad mistakes for Clayton on this drive, but they're still up by 2 scores, so I'm a little bit conflicted on how to feel about it.
That's the 3rd penalty on this possession, and again, it's just knocking them back. But again, if Pitman can get a stop here deep in Clayton's own territory, they could get some good field position and try to limit turnovers on the offensive end and try to at least go up by, or go down, be down by 1 score and try to get back in this game. You still have a lot of time left.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Thomas knows that very well. He's played in these games before. He's played in, or he has coached 11 of these Pitman Clayton games. As getting tripped up, staying on his feet is Quaddy Walls. Head-to-head, up to the 40-yard line. He is down at the 40 on the near sideline. A huge rush by Quaddy Walls to take over on 2nd and long after a huge swarm of penalties. He went one-on-one with number 5, Aiden Upham. And that is a huge gain of 36 yards. Clippers first down.
That's just awesome by Walls. He's able to break a tackle and somehow, some way, stay up on his feet and gain an extra 15 yards on that play. And that just pushes Clayton right out of deep in their own territory, and now they're around the 40-yard line. And the run game has just been very, very good. Just got to limit the penalties on the offensive side, and they're getting positive plays here.
Gabriel Hill with a handoff right side over the middle on another broken tackle. Haven Wall stays on his feet. He's being pressured. He's up to the 30-yard line. Upham takes him out of town, but it's another first down for the Clippers as they continue to drive here in the 3rd quarter.
I need to know what they're feeding these Walls brothers, man. They just are staying up on their feet. They're not going down. They're just using their physicality to their advantage and just staying up. And again, their balance just perfectly and insane. And being able to stay up on those plays and get the extra yardage, it's becoming it's becoming kind of the factor in this drive, in this possession, with them getting the extra positive yards after the first tackle is made.
1st and 10. Hill rejoining the offense from the 31-yard line. Line to gain at the 21. If you're just joining us, Clayton leads this one 14-0. No scoring since the 1st quarter. Handoff up the middle. Gets a handful of yards up to the 26. But the Clippers scored on a 63-yard touchdown pass to Nyseer Walls and a 2-yard QB keeper to the quarterback, or excuse me, the QB keeper for Gabriel Hill was able to get everything going. Second and 7. They're lined up at the 28, right hash. Clippers have 4:15 to play in the 3rd quarter. Going with the fake end around. They go with the option over the middle. Another first down up to the 10-yard line. Just domination here from the Clayton rushing attack, taking advantage of that goal line turnover. Quaddy Walls gets it, tackled by Sam Adams, and we're going to get this one called back. It's the penalty here. Illegal shift. I mean, they've been called for illegal shifts so many times that if you're John Chamberlain, you just got to tell your guys, hey, whatever play that we're running, we're not running that anymore. We had a game 2 years ago between Palmyra and Gloucester Catholic that had Palmyra get called for illegal formations on 4 plays in the same quarter because they were never told that play, or I guess it never clicked for them, that play was illegal. So they ended up just running the same play over and over and over again. And I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? That's just how it was. But second and long after the penalty. And we've seen at least 3 or 4 illegal shift calls against the Clippers in this game. So it's been an oddball for sure. They sent a man in motion. Hill hands off to Quaddy Walls. Pitman wraps him up, takes him down. Tackle finished off by number 11, Will Clark, and by number, looks like number 77, Braden Gary.
And even after all these penalties, the response by the Clippers has been very well. They're still getting the positive yardage on plays, and they're kind of pushing themselves back, but are still able to bounce back from these penalties and be able to still kind of march down the field here.
A long drive for the Clippers after Pittman got all the way up to the goal line but was denied with a goal line fumble. 2:55 and counting in the third quarter. You're watching coverage of the 100th annual Thanksgiving game between the Pitman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers. Clippers lead 14-0. Walls with another rush. Downed short of the first at the 23. And he will get a handful of yards here. They'll flip it to fourth down. It's going to be fourth and I think 3. So not bad at all for Clayton here as they continue to drive. They continue to get something going here as they look for their first touchdown since the first quarter.
You mentioned in the first half how much this offensive line means to the Clippers because they run the ball so much. The last couple of plays when they've handed it off, the front is getting so much push that they're able just to push Pittman's defensive line just maybe a yard or two like ahead of them, and then the running back just takes it himself and is able to get those positive yards on it. They're doing a great job in this game.
Another handoff, right side. This is on fourth and short. I think he's got it. And they say yes. First down, Clayton.
Number 5, Quaddy Walls with the carry. Short
I want to bring up also, I think Clayton started this drive with 9 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, this is a Group 1 drive, Thomas. We see these a handful of times. It is a slow, methodical drive that will make you question all that you know about football. It's just going to keep on going.
But that's what they want to do. They're up by 14. You're able to knock a lot of time off this clock, and you're still on your own end. And you're still in first. You have a first down right now, and still not in the goal territory.
First and 10 from the 20. Hill with a handoff to Weathers. Weathers breaking free. Touchdown Clippers. Willie Weathers, the sophomore, with a 20-yard scramble. And it caps off an 8-minute drive for Clayton. It's not a cherry on top yet, but you're starting to lay down the whipped cream. It's 20-0 as Willie Weathers, with no penalty flags, which is what happened last time. This time, the touchdown is here to stay.
Yeah, they put Weathers in motion, and he just took that one. No one in front of him. He kind of just used his speed, used his momentum, made a move on a defender, made him miss, and just was one-on-one with the end zone, just had to run it in. That was just a great play by Weathers, great play design by Chamberlain, and now you're up by 3 scores in this game with a minute left in third quarter. You still have the whole fourth quarter, but this is just a statement.
2-point conversion to go up by 22 if successful. They'll go with the option. Hill with a floater over the middle, intended for the tight end, Ethan Rodriguez, and it's incomplete. So Hill 1 for 3 on 2-point conversions today, but the Clippers now lead by double digits on their home turf. It's the Clippers 20 and the Panthers 0 with a minute to play in the third. 2, 1. Welcome back to Haupt Field here in Clayton. It's a busy crowd here for Thanksgiving between the Pitman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers. It's the Clippers 20 and the Panthers 0, as here on a mostly cloudy Thursday morning, now afternoon. I know some folks might be listening to us on the way to a long trip for Thanksgiving. Luckily, I only have to travel 35 minutes, not some of the, I was driving on 55 this morning. I saw so many out-of-state plates driving down there. I'm like, I know a lot of these people are, Thanksgiving is one of those things where that and Christmas, everybody travels a long way. I know, Thomas, you had to come down a long way from Montclair to get here last night. We appreciate everybody coming out today, whether it's in the grandstands or whether it's on YouTube here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Thomas Gaffney Jr. on the call, Ben Wilden on the production, Damian Waiters on the camera. Four-man crew today, as we've got the Clippers to kick off with Trevor Rem. Here comes a high shot over to the 20. It'll be returned. Wonder if they were going to hand it off. It's going to go to Ackerman, who gets swiped at from the back. He is going to go up to the 30, and a laborious return by the Panthers brings them their first drive here with 1:06 to play in the third. But the Clippers' touchdown came from Willie Weathers. I had thought that I saw a flag, but it was the orange tee being tossed to the sideline. I just thought there was like a really late flag that I didn't see, but no, it was the tee going to the sideline. Got to imagine John Chamberlain's feeling good, though. This is his fourth Thanksgiving game, as a chance to win his second in his tenure here at Clayton. Collum drops back. He's going to let this one fly. It's deep. One hand incomplete, and a late little shove there. As maybe, he might have just lost his footing. Ackerman was the intended receiver. Defensive coverage by Naeem Smith. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10.
I think Ackerman actually got past him, just the throw was a little bit over his head. And that could have been a big play for Pitman to get some points on the board if he was able to catch that and potentially break a tackle and hit the end zone. But a good play design, just unfortunately the throw just a little bit too hard. But at least some good, positive-looking plays for Pitman in their second possession of the quarter, which is insane to say because there's only a minute left on the clock.
1 minute exactly to play in the third quarter. Collum backing up. He goes into the shotgun. 2 receivers to his right. 1 on the left. Deep pass. Double coverage. Incomplete. Broken up by number 13, Mikhail Hibbert, and number 10, Justin Holloway. The intended receiver was Ackerman.
It looks like Pitman's just trying to find these big boom plays to go downfield or potentially try to draw a penalty down the field so you can get some positive yardage. But again, you're down by 3 with a quarter left to go. You got to get something going to start the end this third quarter and to begin this fourth quarter if you want to try to get back in this game.
3rd and 10. That will bring us to a timeout. Couldn't tell who called that one. It will see if the scoreboard updates. 53.5. Clayton does call there first. We'll stay right here. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at DAWG Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. Visit DAWGProWrestling.com for more information and along with information on how to book DAWG for your next event. It's going to be a fun one.
First, we will announce the 22-inch Blackstone Grill.
I wish I put in a ticket for the Blackstone Grill, but as you can see here in Clayton, they had a whole table dedicated to the history of this game. You could see some old helmets from the rivalry. There was a newspaper clipping from the South Jersey Times from 2000, back when Stephen Everett was the head coach there, as here comes Collum with a deep pass. Kind of got caught in the wind that time, and that will be 3 straight incompletions with the Panthers starting to enter desperation mode. They end up throwing 3 incompletions. 4th and 10. There are some close Thanksgiving games around. Roselle Park leads Roselle 33-19. Atlantic City leads Holy Spirit 37-14 in the 4th. Here comes another deep ball. Oh, that's close, but the ball came out. Let's see where they spot this one. I'm not sure if did they call it a catch?
They did call it a catch, but I think they're calling it short.
I think it's short by a yard.
Nope, they're calling it Pittman's ball. It's still a first down.
Did they get the first on that? Wow. That looked short to me, but that's a lucky break for the Panthers. You know what? I'm looking at it now. That ball didn't come out until after he kind of stuck it forward. That looked like that was good, just looking at the real-time replay. Collum breaking through a couple of pressures again, gets hit from behind. He will stay in bounds and get about 2 yards. We've got 20 seconds left in the quarter. And luckily, these two teams won't have to travel very far at the end. Being right near midfield, they're at the 42. They'll respot. They've got 9 seconds. Collum, it looks like these guys aren't going to get another playoff. They're not really in a whole lot of urgency. And at the end of the third quarter, it's still a shutout in favor of the home Clippers. It's Clayton 20 and Pitman 0 with Pitman driving at the end of the third here on DWB. Starting the fourth quarter here at Haupt Field, it's our 34th and final football game of the season. As Collum drops back, rolling out right side. He lets it fly on a second attempt. Oh my goodness! What a hit! He just lit up Lincoln Eisenhart. Incompletion. Unfortunately, though, Eisenhart seems shaken up as it's Gabriel Hill, and now the immediate attention goes to Lincoln Eisenhart, who is down. Oh, that's rough. I mean, as much as that was an exciting play, you could tell that that was just a hard hit from the back. They're getting Clayton separated from the sideline, and now running over is one of the assistant coaches. This looks worse than we thought it was. That is a difficult situation there. Lincoln Eisenhart getting attended to. He is going to roll over on his back. You can see Dane Collins standing with Sam Adams next to him. Yeah, you can see Collum head down. He will get up. Eisenhart under his own power. You can see Collum took his helmet off and went down on a knee. And now they'll get back to it as, man, that was rough. But luckily he seems to be okay. Just, that's one of those plays where when you see it happen live, you just can't help but react. I mean, he got pummeled from the back. And the unfortunate part of it is he also didn't come down with the ball. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from the 42. Line to gain is at the 49 across the 50. We do have a final from Atlantic City. The Vikings beat the Spartans 37-14 in the 97th AC Holy Spirit rivalry. Out to the right side. Gets a handful of yards on third and mid-range. Upham on the rush. We do have a penalty flag.
Pass is complete. The player brings the ball out to the 49-yard line. However, there is a penalty flag on the play.
Looks like an illegal push of some kind. This is going to be against, whatever it is, it's against the Panthers. We saw Clayton earlier this year. They lost 38-14 to Overbrook. And in our opening weekend of the season, a 27-20 loss to Collingswood. So if Clayton wins this game, it would be the first time that Clayton will have won on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting since... Actually, they have... I can't believe I'm really saying this. They have never won on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting before. Now, they have won in other sports. They have won twice in boys basketball and a third time in boys soccer from earlier this year when they played Gloucester Catholic. But the first game we covered them for in 2023 was versus Glassboro. That was when Glassboro was in their first year with Timmy Breaker. Figuring out this extended delay here. Referees are discussing in between the two lines. The penalty did bring Pitman all the way back to the 28-yard line, so it'll be third and a long ways out. Now they're walking it up.
So I think they just waved.
Did they wave off the penalty?
They all waved off the penalty, but the referees were talking to Chris Thomas on the sidelines, and he was arguing the call. And I guess he got his way, and now it's 4th and short for the Panthers. But again, I mean, if you don't think it's right, you got to argue it, and it worked out for him in his favor.
Yeah, there's no challenge flag in high school football, so you know the best you can do is hope that the referees are willing to listen to you without giving you a sideline warning or tossing you out of the game. You know. Can't happen in baseball. Once the call is there, the call is there. But with the amount of referees that are on the field today, the amount of officials that are there, 7 total, 6 on the field, 1 in the box, they were able to get his way. Collum with a bit of a funky flip. Hand to the face that time. Left side, 3-on-1. He goes down. Another big hit by Naeem Smith. The carry by Jay Craig, the senior. This will bring them up to, it'll be a turnover on downs, so it was short. And now Clayton can really, really lock this game in. Again, it's not over. But if their score, which their last scoring drive ended in a 20-yard rush by Willie Weathers, that was an 8-minute drive. Started with 9 minutes to go, ended with 1:06 left in the third quarter. Doesn't get much better than that. If they can do that again, you can take away any chance of Pitman coming back realistically in this game.
I think with how they've been running the ball all game, I think that's, I mean, they're going to stick to the game plan, obviously, as they did all season. But if you can kind of just get a couple of first downs here and keep the clock running, it's going to work in your favor.
Left side, Hill goes out. Not a lot of room. He crashed into the fence there. There is not a lot of room on that Pitman sideline. There's a little bit more room on the Clayton side, but when you've got all that inertia, when you're moving at that quick speed, it's a little bit difficult to come around on, as it'll be 2nd and 8.
Sounds like you paid attention in physics class there with inertia. Look at that.
You'd be bold to assume I was paying attention. It's 2nd and 8. Listen, ESPN Sports Science back in the day, that was my jam growing up. They talked about how hard it was to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It was so many things that they did. I loved that show when I was growing up. The presenter of it passed away a couple months ago for ESPN. As diving forward, Walls is going to get about 8 or 9 yards up to the 38. And I believe his dive forward should give him a first down here. We'll see where they spot it. And it is a first down for the Clippers. They've got 11 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. And how much of that is going to go by the wayside here? First and 10, 38-yard line for the Clippers. Handoff to Haven Walls. Well, I'll tell you this. I think even with Deron Williams out, the sophomore, Clayton's going to be a fun team to watch next year because they have shown that even with Gabriel Hill as the quarterback, they don't pass a whole lot. They're not going to worry about a quarterback. They have Haven Walls coming back for another year. They have Niceer Walls coming back. Deron Williams has 2 more years after this. Enoch Figueroa has another year. I haven't seen him play, but we saw him play in the regular season, and he was fantastic. Christian Hill and Michael Bull are both freshmen. They're going to make an impact. Riley Traum is a sophomore who's made so many tackles for Clayton today. Clayton's going to be a really fun team to watch next year. Left side, rush by number 6, Trevor Rem, another sophomore who's going to have 2 more years after this one for the class of 2028. It'll be first down up to the 27-yard line. Clayton still in the huddle. Hill over to number 13, Mikhail Hibbert, who's going to get another first down. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Dancing along the near sideline. He is out of bounds. They say he stepped out around the 10-yard line. The referee stopped it right there. Clayton does still get a first down. I think they're a yard away from dropping the stick, so they'll technically have 1 more set of downs after this if they don't score. They're at the 11.
Yeah, but going back to that play, I want to emphasize Gabriel Hill off the play action kind of handoff there. He rolled out, and honestly, he baited, I think, 2 or 3 defenders with them thinking that he had the ball, and that allowed the runner just to kind of be open in space and get a couple of extra yards, but unfortunately stepped out of bounds.
Over the middle. Ball came out. A scramble. One team says they have it. The other team says they have it. That's how all fumbles go. And Clayton ball, second down. Wait a second. Pittman's got it. Pittman's going to have this one. They picked up the fumble recovery, it looks like, and Clayton's going to go on defense. How about that?
Great job by Pittman. If you're trying to get back into this game, you force a turnover, you get the fumble, now you're still backed in your own territory, but you have another chance to put some points on the board. Still have 8 minutes, 52 seconds. You got to use your time wisely. You still have 3 timeouts to use. So maybe you can get a couple of turnovers on defense. You can get a couple of scores on offense. Maybe get back in this one.
Collum is going to let this one fly. He gets hit at the goal line and incomplete. Wow. Diving in front of it. That was so close. Collum got hit in the middle of his throw, but not late enough for a roughing the passer as 2 Clayton defenders drowned out number 5, Aiden Upham, who went deep downfield in a desperation attempt.
I think that was just great by Upham, too. He tracked the ball in the air. He realized where it was. He saw there was 2 defenders around him, and unfortunately, just when the ball hit his hands, couldn't grab it and couldn't bring it in. But again, I think it was a great job tracking that ball in the air to potentially make the catch there.
Second and 10 from the 10-yard line. Collum in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left. Lets it fly quickly. A good spiral. This is going to be picked off. No! Can of corn goes out. Naeem Smith had a can of corn, but instead he spills the beans. Had an easy interception that goes out of his hands, and it's 3rd and 10.
And Smith has been, I think, everywhere in this second half. He made that huge tackle. He had 2 huge tackles in the last possession that Pitman had, and then almost an interception right there. Unfortunately, he wants to take that one back and try to redo it. Had that ball in his hands, just slipped out a little bit. It is a chilly one here today, so again, your hands are a little cold, and unfortunately just slipped right out of them.
45 degrees. As we mentioned, partly sunny. Some clouds have gone over for the most part, but so much better playing conditions than what we had last year. That pass is going to get ripped up by the wind. Intended receiver was number 9, Blaine Ackerman. And that pass just went way wide to his left. So 3 straight incompletions. Don't forget, our next broadcast will be on Tuesday, December the 2nd, for ice hockey from the Hollydale Ice Arena in Sewell. It's a matchup in the Gordon Conference between the Princeton Day Panthers and the Gloucester Catholic Rams. It's our first of 10 with Gloucester Catholic this season. As Column on 4th and 10 lets it fly. Another one in double coverage. And that one's picked off. This time he hangs onto it. Haven Walls might just put this game in the oven, because they might have cooked on that one. Interception. Haven Walls. With 8 minutes to play, they pick up a huge pick off of Column. And with a 20-0 lead, they take another stake out of the Panthers. Take a look at that replay. Presented by Harper Driving School. I mean, just this play right here, this could be the sealer. Column with his 11th interception of the year. He had 2 weeks ago versus Audubon, and in double coverage there, just came up with it. Haven Walls, who is going to have another season with the Clippers next year. They're going to bring back most of their core outside of their quarterback, Gabriel Hill, and one of their leading rushers in Quaddy Walls. And keep in mind, again, they are without Deron Williams today, the sophomore and the leading rusher for the Clippers. They don't have him, but what they do have is a lot of confidence for this Clippers offense. Clippers lead 20-0.
Just shows they have a lot of depth. You bring it up, a lot of these players returning next season, and the Clippers are one to watch. With the players going into maybe their junior or even senior years, they're getting older and they're playing a lot more football. And even without your leading rusher, he's even coming back next year as well, Deron Williams. So you have a plethora of players. You have a lot of depth, and especially with this run game right now, you can have a 4-headed monster back there next season.
Yeah, I mean, with this rush-heavy offense, Clayton just might have so many. I mean, think about it this way. The amount of rushers that you could have next year for the Clayton Clippers. Haven Walls, Naeem Smith, Nasir Walls, Trevor Rem, Deron Williams, Enoch Figueroa, Mikhail Hibbert, Willie Weathers, and Michael Bull. That's 9. Those are 9 players that could potentially be potential rushers for Clayton next year. That's just an incredible amount of people in general. They can just cycle them out. None of them will get tired. And Clayton, with the new divisional alignments next year, we don't know who they're going to play. As the ball comes out, Clayton did fall on it on a simple hop in front of them. A lateral move that time. Trevor Rem was on the rush. Time is now called. And I believe Pitman is the one to call it. That is their first of the half. With 6:54 to play, the Clippers might have their first in 3 years. It's the Clippers 20 and the Panthers 0. All right, Pitman coming back from a timeout here, 4th and 6. After this play, if Clayton doesn't get over, I have a challenge that has been wagered to me by my color commentator Thomas Gaffney. He wants to give me some trivia question. As Mikhail Hibbert, he is going to get a first down. He's going to break away. Broke the tackle of number 13, Eli Applegarth. As they move the sticks, Thomas, what questions did you want to ask me?
All right, so the Thanksgiving tradition of obviously playing in the Thanksgiving game.
Right.
It spans back a while. Obviously, this one spans back 100 years. But there's an oldest tradition in the Thanksgiving Day rivalry. Do you know what two teams have played the oldest tradition dating back all the way to 1882 and still play to this day? I can give you a little bit of hint. It is in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Well, I know it's not the NFL because the NFL wasn't around in
It's high school football. It's high school football.
If it's high school, I wouldn't have any clue. I would not have any clue if it was Massachusetts high school football. The only Massachusetts high school I know is West Springfield because we covered them in 2023 when they came down to Audubon for a baseball scrimmage. But I was thinking it was a college football one, but no. What's the answer?
It's Needham versus Wellesley in Massachusetts.
I wouldn't have no
dating
clue.
back to 1882.
1882.
And they still play. They play today.
When Grover Cleveland was in office.
Yes, they played every single year since 1882.
I know the oldest in Jersey is Vineland Millville, the Battle for the Holy City, or Battle for the Holly City, rather. That goes down to 1893. But I mentioned in the open, there's only 6 Thanksgiving Day games this season. There were 7 total. Audubon Haddon Township played last night. And just 6 years ago, there were 25 Thanksgiving Day matchups in South Jersey alone to choose from. As Pitman, stack in the box, gets 3-4 tacklers up over Trevor Rem that time. They're all falling over each other. It's Craig Adams and number 65, Ethan Kubat, who came up with the tackles that time. Got time. Is their timeout called? Pittman's going to their sideline, so I think they did. Yeah, they'll bring out the Gatorade bottle. So Pitman calls their second timeout of the half. We'll take a quick break. It's the Panthers 0 and the Clippers 20 here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Go ahead. Clippers lead this one by 20 in the final 5 minutes of the 100th annual Thanksgiving game. Pitman driving. They were on 3rd and short. And again, after a turnover, or I should say with Clayton here, Pitman does call that timeout. So they are using their timeouts early in this one. With 5 minutes to play, they have used all 3 of their timeouts. Pitman has none. Clayton has 2 remaining. We'll stay right here. Tune in on Friday, December 5th and Saturday, December 6th for the Roadrunner Classic at RCSJ Gloucester. 4 teams will compete, 3 from the JUCO scene and a JV team of Eastern University. It's the Roadrunners of RCSJ, the Manor Blue Jays, the Mercer Vikings, and the Eastern, I forget what they are, the Eastern Eagles, I think it is, in PA. The Division 3, their JV reserve team will be playing in that tournament on December 5th and 6th. First round on the 5th, consolation games on the 6th, including a women's basketball standalone versus Mercer on that day. So 2 games on Friday, 3 on Saturday, the 6th, as we get into the holiday season. Hill is going to drop this one back. Deep, tipped up, and incomplete. Went for the senior tight end, Ethan Rodriguez, kind of pile drove a defender in his way. Ackerman was able to break it up, and it will be 4th and 11. Or excuse me, it'll be a first down. Pitman gets a turnover on downs. This is their last stand. It's not over yet. I've seen crazier things happen, but for Clayton to lose this game, there has to be astronomical shifts in every which way of the offense and of the defense. Pittman's got to score like in the next minute if they want a chance. Then they got to get an onside kick. Then they got to get a fumble. They got to get something to go their way if they want to win this game. Because the Clippers right now, they're hitting them where it hurts the most, and that's everywhere. Column, pass. Left side, Ackerman playing it extremely safe with Naeem Smith really trailing at a safe distance. Because Clayton has nothing to lose. They don't want, I should say they don't have nothing to lose. They do have a lot to lose if they make a lot of mistakes. They do not want to get another personal foul call. They do not want to get another unsportsmanlike call like before where it's going to put them in a lot of trouble. They just want to keep this simple and easy. Give Pitman what they want and then take over on offense and ice the game. Another big hit that time. Catch was made by number 6, Lincoln Eisenhart, the tight end. Tackle was made by number 13, Mikhail Hibbert. But again, two very small rosters here with Pitman and Clayton. And it's just been so interesting to watch these two battle it out today. As another deep ball, Column right side. A one-handed pick. But the flag comes in as the interception is made. Haven Walls, the junior, has his second interception, but let's see what's going on here. Pitman is staying on the field. It's defensive pass interference against the Clippers.
And that's just a big break from Pitman to get on
15
that
yards.
play. Yeah, you get some yards there. They're off a almost pick, and you get a couple of yards to kind of go downfield. You've been going downfield the last two plays, and now you're kind of marching down the field with, you still have 4.5 minutes left. You're marching down the field right now to try to get a score and potentially come back in this game. Like you said, you've seen crazy things happen here, and in high school football especially.
Pitman looking to avoid getting shut out in this game. With 4:30 to play, Column over the middle. It's caught. Another flag comes in. Eisenhart has it. He rips the player to the ground. It was a hip drop tackle. It's a hold against the Panthers. So that kind of negates things a little bit. The last time Pitman was shut out in this tournament, or excuse me, in this Thanksgiving Day game, was back in 2018. Clayton won the game 40-0. That was when Pitman was fielding a JV team at the time. They only played 4 varsity games that year. In fact, they were shut out 2 years in a row, 2017 and 2018. And before then, they had actually gone on a streak of 25 years without a shutout. As that's a pass over the middle, it's caught. Or, I pardon, they got shut out in 1994. And then they got shut out again in 2017. So if I do the math, that's not 25 years, but still 94-17. That's a long stretch without getting shut out. Deep pass, right side. Column got hit, pass got tipped, and it's incomplete. Pitman just running really up-tempo offense because they have to. They're down by 3 scores. I mean, they theoretically could take the lead if you get just 2 of 3 two-point conversions, but we are speaking in wild hypotheticals right now with how the Panthers are operating.
Yeah, they would need to score very quickly here, and then if you do the onside kick, you have to get the onside kick, then score as quick as possible again. You only have 1 timeout. You can't really stop the clock unless you get a first down, and you do the hurry-up offense and try to snap the ball right when that clock is starts rolling with the referee's judgment, or when the ball is set.
Dropping back, Column. That line not holding up as that pass is caught. Eisenhart with Ackerman with a play on the near sideline, gets it up to inside the 30, and again, just hugging the sidelines as best as they can. That's what you have to do here. As it will be 3:44 to play. Clayton 20, Pitman 0 in the 100th annual Thanksgiving game. Here from Houghton Field. It's 4th down, 3 yards to go. Column doesn't get it here. Their season might be over. Column thinks that the lineman jumped. Maybe they were trying to get that hard count to work. They regroup. That was very close to breaking the plane. Dropping back. That line again. Here comes another pass. Deep. Middle of the field. Up and in. Touchdown, Pitman. And from what we can tell, no flags. A 31-yard bomb down the middle of the field, straight down the eye for Blaine Ackerman. And the Panthers will continue their streak of 8 years of not getting shut out as even though that pass may not be the most consequential in the game, it could start off an interesting chain of events if this game goes in the Panthers' favor. It's 20-6. Let's see what they'll have. They will go for the PAT. This will be taken by number 25, Christian Camisioli. It's up, away, and good. Through some quite tall goalposts here at the Clayton Clippers house, the Boatyard. It's the Panthers 7 and the Clippers 20. We'll take a quick break. All right, go ahead. Got to imagine here as we come back from break, it's the Clippers 20 and the Panthers 7. Got to imagine that an onside kick is almost guaranteed, and you can see where Clayton is lined up. They're pretty much expecting it as well. The crowns of their helmets are down, ready to attack with Camisioli to kick. 3:37 to play in the fourth. If Clayton recovers this could be the end of the game. Onside, hops twice. Clayton's got it. And nobody comes even close to them that time as the return by Nasir Walls brings them to the 47-yard line. And now Clayton can not necessarily hit cruise control, but after a couple of first downs, they may be able to.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of chirping on the field between two players.
It's just frustration,
It's
honestly.
frustration, but also, again, just shows how much this rivalry means to them. And Pitman's offense, I mean, you go down and score, unfortunately can't get the onside kick. But the penalties and the turnovers is what the reason why they scored. They've only scored in the 7 points, and it came in the fourth quarter. But the Clayton's defense just coming up strong all game, and they played their game, and the offense did it the same as well.
1st and 10, Clippers lining up here with 3:37 to play. Panthers did get that late touchdown, though, on a 31-yard pass to Ackerman. Pittman stacking the box. They'll hold them to about 2 yards that time. Tackle made by number 77, Braden Gary, the sophomore. But with 7 Thanksgiving games across South Jersey yesterday and today, you do hope that this isn't the last on Thanksgiving Day. You know, people are talking about they might move this game off of Thanksgiving. I hope they don't. I really hope they don't, because this game is, I mean, the crowd that we've had today should tell you all that you need to know. The fanfare about this game, the ceremonies, the tradition, that's everything that you should need to know as to why Thanksgiving football should be saved. Imagine how much money the concession stand is making tonight. How much money are they getting from merchandise, from ticket sales, whatever it may be? You got to imagine that there has to be a way to save Thanksgiving football, because without it, you're kind of you're almost going in a sacrilegious way of the sport of football. Football is meant to be played on Thanksgiving. That's just how it is. If the NFL can do it, if college football can do it, then why can't we do it? Especially these small towns that just need this boost so much in today's age. It's 3rd and short, 2 minutes to play. They will run it straight up the middle, and they're going to be short by a yard. They'll be at the 45-yard line. And the Clippers, we have a penalty flag down on the far side. Oh, personal foul against the Panthers. That should do it. In the 100th Thanksgiving game, feels like a game that just Pittman started this game out of gas, and they really didn't get much going throughout the day. Clippers have just been all over it, but it was not a blowout. This game was not a blowout at all. It was 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. I was thinking that we were going to be headed for a 3, 4, or 5 score game, but Clayton got held back by Pitman. Their defense stood strong. They figured out what they needed to do. But at the end of the day, the Clayton Clippers, they seem to be the better team today on the field. Under 2 minutes to play. Clock is running. 1:48 to play. 1st and 10. Wonder if Hill's even going to try a play or if they're just going to go in victory formation for a few kneels. Well, they'll run down the clock first as much as they can. Send a man in motion. They do run a play. It's Walls. Quaddy Walls, the senior. What a day it would be for him to win on his final Thanksgiving day. Jay Craig coming up a little bit limp on the play. He will stay on the field. It is 2nd and 4. The clock stopped on the last play. There is a timeout. Well, Pitman's out, so that means that Clayton has to call it. They have 1 remaining. 1:24 left. You got to imagine John Chamberlain has some nice words for his kids looking for their 2nd Thanksgiving Day win in Chamberlain's tenure. We'll take a quick break. Rush over the middle on 2nd and 5. Walls was on the rush. Got to be a good feeling for the Clippers. I mean, we have been to this field, this Haupt Field, 7 times. This is our 7th. And the Clippers have never won a home game in which our cameras were running. And the Clippers are calling their last time out. I guess they're using them. 109. Player down. Okay, yeah. I thought that they were burning the timeout, but there is a player down on Pitman's side right at the end of this one. But I will say, in case I forget to say it at the end of the day, I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. This is a great time to be around in South Jersey, and whether you're traveling to see your family or just hosting this year, or trust me, I would love to host a Thanksgiving because that means I don't have to use as much gas on my car, but that also means I have to cook everything, and I'd rather not. I'd rather not cook a turkey because I don't like turkey. We talked about it during the break. I'm not a turkey guy. I like ham. I like ham. Ham's a good thing. I do like stuffing, but turkey just, listen, I only like turkey if there is so much spice in the bird that my mouth catches on fire. Like, it's just, everything else is just so dry. But you said when we were on break that I just haven't had good turkey.
You haven't had good turkey because good turkey is moist. It's not dry. It doesn't look like you're cutting through a piece of wood when all the turkey chippings come off of it. That's dry turkey. You again, I don't think you've had good turkey to kind of say that you don't like turkey.
I would say there's probably not a lot of people in my family who are Michelin star chefs, so I will have to try to have good turkey, I guess, when we find some time. But
it's very hard to make a good turkey, though. It's like you have to perfect.
Well, because it's a bird. It's a massive bird.
And it takes forever to cook.
If you're gonna cook a turkey on Thursday, you have to take it out of the freezer by Sunday. Yep. It's unbelievable, and maybe even that's too late. That's why it's not worth the trouble, but I'll have to give it another shot. 45 seconds remaining. Clayton and Pitman. Rush. Another scramble at the line on 3rd down. And with 40 seconds left, they'll have time to just either kneel it out or run to the 50-yard line and shake hands because, well, this will be interesting here. See where they spot this. 4th down, line to gain is at the 20. They'll let this one run. And listen to this crowd. The Clayton Clippers, for the first time since 2022, in overtime, are going to win the Thanksgiving Day game, the 100th annual. Gabriel Hill goes over. He's got 7 seconds left. I guess he does have to take a knee. Referee's telling him he's got time. He will take one final knee. And the Clayton Clippers are Thanksgiving Day champions in 2025. Number 100 comes back to the Boatyard. And for the first time since 2019, the Clippers will win this one by multiple scores with a final of the Clippers of Clayton 20 and the Panthers of Pitman 7. Shaking hands at the 50-yard line, John Chamberlain and Chris Thomas. And man, Thomas, what a great game this was. Even though Pitman didn't get their score until only 5 minutes left, didn't seem like that they had a lot of gas to start, but they ended up finishing at least admirably. And Clayton, they just played the better game today.
Well, Clayton came out right out of the gates, just completely composed. They went out there, they set the standard for the rest of the game off the touchdown pass, and then they went on and scored again in the first quarter, ending it 14-0. And after that, it was kind of free sail for the Clippers. The defense played well. The offense went out there, tried to do its job. The Pitman defense was coming up strong, got a couple of turnovers, but in the offense, they just couldn't capitalize off turnovers, get some points off of it, and they didn't score until late, like you said. But again, I feel like this Clippers team looked very, very good today, ended their season, and now you look to go into next year with mostly the same roster, very young, and now they have a new, fresh look to look at for next year as they're coming off this monumental win in the 100th game against Pitman and Clayton.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to cut this crowd mic. What I'll say, Thomas, is that, yes, I'm very excited about how this Clippers team is going to play next year. They've got a young head coach. He graduated from McDaniel College in 2019. He only graduated high school 11 years ago. I love what Clayton's about. They are, just hard-nosed, pound the ball, run through the middle. Doesn't matter who you are not safe when you visit the Clayton Clippers. And they had such a two-faced season this year. They started off 0-1. We were there on opening week. They lost to Collingswood 27-20, and they played a great game. And then they ripped off 4 straight wins, including 3 shutouts. But then they lost their last 4. They ended off the regular season on a huge whimper. Losses to Overbrook, Sterling, Paulsboro, and Woodstown. Now, all good teams, but they were 4-1 in September, and they were 4-5 by the end of October. So they come in this game probably with a lot more confidence than you would expect, as Dan Antonelli's going to come out for the Thanksgiving trophy presentation. But again, this is a game between two teams that are incredibly hard-nosed. Pitman only has 30 players on their roster. Clayton's probably got about 8 more guys. It's still not a full roster. It's not a roster where you're going to be mentioning too many names because there's just so many stars. But as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Clayton is going to have so many weapons returning. Haven Walls, Naeem Smith, who had an interception, Nasir Walls, who had the touchdown reception, Gabriel Hill's a junior. So they will be bringing back their quarterback. And their running back, Deron Williams. And when these kids are sophomores, they are so projectable. The way that you develop them as underclassmen is going to shape them so well for their junior and senior years. So I'm really excited for what John Chamberlain is bringing to Clayton in 2026 and beyond. So let's stay here for the Thanksgiving Day presentation, and let's listen in. They just gave out an individual MVP award. I believe that went to Gabriel Hill, trying to get that jersey number.
Thanksgiving is for the side. No. So much good food. My mom's making good food. My parents, she ate my let's go. hype. It's always hype. Look, this is our 100th year anniversary game, so it's a little more hype than usual. Yeah, I'm about to go ask for free confessions. Oh my god. Every time somebody grabs my dick and then starts digging, they really dig. They like dig into it. There's no need. Sorry, Pitman. Sorry, Pitman.
I hate
Sorry, Pitman. Better luck next time. Huh? Yeah, so do we. Huh? Huh? They made it 3 years in a row. They talked shit with the banquet, and there was that was a lot of stuff they were talking.
Yo, where's the trash can?
Down there. It's Good, how are you? Go to the right, and then I'll look another right. Scissors are 95 better. Which I didn't put on free. I didn't know what to do. You want to keep those there? You don't want it? Huh? We'll bring it to the banquet. Huh? Murder me?
Oh, murder him, yes.
What did I do?
Yes, get him, get him, get him.
Oh, Logan, no, what did I do?
Get him, Logan.
Logan, no.
Okay, we welcome you back to Clayton High School Haupt Field. We'll increase that lighting a little bit so that we don't look like spirits in the past. I guess we're the ghost of Christmas past, but we'll get into our postgame here. I'm Dan Wilkins with Thomas Gaffney Jr., and, well, I'll tell you this. This was a good game from start to finish, but, man, Clayton, that was one of the best Clayton games that I've seen in a long time. They had a lot of fight. They had a lot of heart all throughout, and eventually came down with a Thanksgiving win, their 34th in the realm of the 100 years of Pitman and Clayton Thanksgiving. Your thoughts on the game?
I mean, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to come out, 100th game between them on Thanksgiving. They wanted to come out, set the standard for what they want to do in years in the future as well. And they go out in the 100th game, and they kind of dominate that first quarter, and that's how it is. It kind of lasted the whole game. They scored those first 2 touchdowns, and it was just lights out from there. Clayton just looked absolutely amazing. And we both thought that both these teams were evenly matched going into this game, but the Clippers were just way more ready to go. They were on their home turf, but again, Clayton just looked perfect out there right now.
And what shocked me was how Clayton responded after all the penalties. They had a 30-yard penalty, a personal foul, and an unsportsmanlike conduct. And then 2 plays later, they get a fumble at the goal line. I think there was a little bit of luck involved because they did have a lot of penalties. And I would say that's something that they can improve on, but now they've got a whole 9 months to improve on it before the start of next year. So, can I really critique them on that too much? No, it's the last game of the season. It's going to happen. This is an intense game between these two teams. Obviously, these two communities, they talk about this game a lot. Maybe more so than other schools. Like I hear people talk about PVI Camden Catholic, not as much like Haddonfield, Haddon Heights. Obviously, Vineland Millville is a big deal. Holy Spirit, Atlantic City. All of the games are big deals. But it feels like this, for such a small community, there's not that many Group 1 games remaining. There's Audubon, Haddon Township, and there's this. That's about it. So when it comes down to what these guys are made of, it's just really fun to watch these teams today. And Pitman played a good game. I think that Dane Collum showed out well for his last game as quarterback. He's going to hopefully get some good Division III looks. He's a 3-sport athlete, as a lot of Pitman players are, football, basketball, and baseball in the spring. And some of their best guys, they played really well. I mean, Aiden Upham was somebody that I thought if Pitman won was going to be my player of the game just because of how good he was. He was the leading rusher and receiver in the regular season, and today he made defensive tackles, had some breakups in pass coverage, and also had a couple of rushes and receptions as well. That was just really good stuff from Aiden Upham. But again, let's talk about the Clippers. We talked a lot about, what they were able to do and how much they're bringing back next year, but let's talk about what they did on the field today. Gabriel Hill set the standard. 63-yard touchdown pass to Niceer Walls. You didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. Nobody here saw it coming because Hill has only attempted 28 passes all year. That's more or less, if they've played 9 games, you're averaging like 3 passes a game. That's about it. He's only thrown 5 TDs in his career. That was his 6th, and that was his longest career touchdown pass. Usually when he passes, it's out of desperation. It means that Clayton's going to lose the game, and they just need a Hail Mary. That time he did it at the start of the game, threw everybody off, and really set the standard for the win.
Yeah, and he did. But then you have to look at the run game that the Clippers they've used all season. You're out without your leading rusher, Deron Williams, and guess what? You still decide you're going to go out there, and that's the game plan. You're running the ball down the throats of Pitman, and that's exactly what they did. Haven Walls, Nasir Walls. You had Gabriel Hill also with his feet, just absolutely amazing. And again, we prefaced this. They're all going to be back next year. It's going to be like a 4-headed, 5-headed monster back there in the backfield. It's going to be insane. But again, without your leading rusher, you still go out there and do the job and get the job done. And I think that was just an amazing game plan there by the Clippers.
The new divisional alignment next year is going to be an interesting one because these two teams may not be in the same division next year. This technically counts as a division game, and Clayton locks up the Royal Division with the win. So it's a little bit of a double. I mean, they had already pretty much been in set for it anyway, but this was another win. They go 5-1 in divisional play. Pittman goes to 4-6 with 3-3 in divisional play. But as we close out the 2025 season, this was one of the better games that we saw. We had 34 games, 10 of them were one-score games, and even though this one wasn't, it never really felt like Pittman was truly out of it. They were making a lot of mistakes, and Clayton was making a lot of mistakes. And this was the only example that I think I've seen in a long time of a team that made more mistakes being the team that won the game. That's just how I see it.
Well, yeah, the penalties, I mean,
they were brutal.
They were brutal. I feel like there was a couple of times where Clayton was stuck in kind of their own end zone at certain points in times, and then they figured it out. They got some big boom plays where like 30, 40 yards by the run game, and they got out of that situation, but then they put themselves back in that same situation. And I feel like if those penalties are kind of called back and they're not there, this game could have been 4 or 5 scores.
Could have been a lot worse.
I think it could have been a lot worse. You had another touchdown called back in the end zone as well. And I feel like that's the one thing, if you're looking at this game, if you're going to take, obviously you take all the positives away. If you're going to take something away from the Clippers that isn't positive, it's the penalties. You got to limit them. And you just have to go into it next season and be sure that you don't do that and be able to come back out and kind of play the game that you did with the run game. It's just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, Pittman's losing a lot more next year than than Clayton is, and it'll be interesting to see how the 2026 roster shape out for both teams. But start your calendars. The next week of August is only 9 months away, so we will certainly be enjoying I wouldn't say the off season because I don't have much of a break. We've got ice hockey next Tuesday, and then December 15th, we've got boys basketball. I'll tell you right now, I'll drop a little hint. Opening night, Bordentown at Cinnaminson, 5:15 tip-off on December 15th in Burlington County Scholastic League basketball, and that will be the start of our opening weekend, the start of a 45-game season. But thank you, Thomas, for joining me today. We've got a fantastic football season behind us now. It's our third with DWB, 34 games, over 30,000 views, over 500 new subscribers joined. I can't thank you all enough for making this possible for me in my second year at RCSJ. When I did this Thanksgiving game 2 years ago, when Pittman won 29-13, I was a senior in high school, and I was not nearly as experienced as I am today. And games like this, teams like this, athletic directors like Dan Antonelli, who keep having us out for games, get us so familiar with these communities, especially in Group 1. I have a soft spot for Group 1 football and Group 1 athletics, being a Group 1 grad myself. So the fact that we can close out this season on such a good game was a really great sign for us. But again, I will keep my thank you short. That'll be all for us today here on DWB. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rosso, my camera operator behind the camera, Damian Waiters, my producer, Ben Wilden, behind me, my color commentator at Montclair State, Thomas Gaffney. By the way, recently won national award, right, for ISBN?
Yes, I did. It was a CBI.
Okay.
Yep. I got first place and third place for 2 awards.
Great awesome stuff. So DWB's bringing some great guys on board. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you on Tuesday, December 2nd for ice hockey in Hollydale, Princeton Day, and Gloucester Catholic. Have a good one, folks.